what's poppin', gamers? It's day 4 of Good Games Canon. The show. I just told everybody that I always rub my hands before we get going. Yeah, this is the show where we try to rank the top games of the 2000s decade. We try to come up with the top 4 for every year, and we seed it every year in advance. We made 12 game brackets, and we're gonna go through those. And as always, the first thing we're gonna do is honorable mentions. Give everybody here 1 minute to speak on a game that didn't get maybe the shine it deserved in the context of this setup, right? So the one I'm talking about, I didn't think super hard about it. I couldn't think of many 2006 games. I picked Rockstar Table Tennis. I don't even know if I have anything to say about it. It's just a fun tennis game that's really polished. Has anyone else here played it? Maybe John?
No, I was gonna say you could talk about the Rage Euphoria engine or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, dude! Like literally, that's so crazy. Like, I do recall just in magazines and like online outlets and shit, the Rockstar's best game. It was like, whoa, Rockstar making a tennis game? Whoa, it's like kind of like a tech demo for the crazy engine. What is GTA 4 gonna look like? Whoa, it's just so wild. On that angle, I have a lot of nostalgia for it. It's cool, I like it. Kime just joined us. Hello, Kime, what's up?
Yo.
Maybe Kevin wants to join as well, I don't know. So, John, you have Ace Combat X written down here for the PSP.
Yes, this is for the PSP fiends. So Ace Combat series is a pretty clear split between PlayStation 1, much more like arcadey small scale games, and PS2, much more narratively driven. And this is a pretty cool balance between the two. It has a little bit of story, has kind of the Ace Combat 4 little animated stills, but really strong mission design and really nice pace. You can beat this. There's another one you can beat in an hour. And its big hook is that it has this like Mario 3 style world map, which sounds so weird, but the idea is like depending on the order that you finish missions, you get like different missions later on. So like one of the first ones, there's like this big enemy, like it's one of those big like futuristic ships that you're always fighting in those games, and you can like just choose to fight it, or if you don't fight it, like one of the missions has you like you have to stay below a certain altitude because it's like firing rockets at you from another side, like from one map over. But I just think it's a really fun game to kind of pick apart and see all the different variants, and it's also a good one for like challenge runs as well. You can sort of stack up the difficulty modifiers in cool ways.
Nice. That's something I want to
Wrap it
check out.
up.
I was so sure.
No, I'm kidding. I said wrap it up.
I got the PNG unlock. So Evan, you have Sonic Roboblast 2 written down.
Yeah, so technically, I guess this game, this is a fan game.
Yep.
And it's been in development since 1998, and it's been released numerous times, numerous updates. But on Backlogged, it's listed as 2006 for some reason. So fuck it. If you want to play a good transition from like 2D Sonic gameplay, if you want 2D Sonic gameplay but in 3D, this is what you want to play. This is the best attempt at it. It feels really good. The levels are massive but very well constructed. There's just a lot of fun to be had just exploring or time attacking the stages, and the characters all feel really good to play. Like, this is an exceptionally good 3D platformer, despite being a fan game and having a name as dumb as Sonic Roboblast 2.
Yeah,
Do you think?
Oh, sorry,
I was just gonna ask. Do you think it's on par with? I haven't gotten around to it. My fault. But do you think it's on par with Sonic Adventure 1?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the levels are more open, and the characters just feel better. It's a lot more polished in terms of like movement. Like it feels a lot better. I like Sonic Adventure 1 a lot, but I mean, this is simply the best 3D Sonic game.
Also,
no question.
Okay, I'll make sure to check it out.
Hell yeah. So Luna had written down here Ease Origin. She joined us for a little bit, but she's not here right now. I feel like that's a game that Raph maybe has probably. Raph has played every game ever made. Right? Do you like have a take on it?
I think Issa also has played it. It's probably the best of the what's the engine called? The 2D
The Arc
NES
engine.
games.
The Arc engine.
Right. Really smart boss fights, really smart encounter design. It feels like they actually like knew what they were doing this time, making a game centered on positioning and like multi-layered attack patterns that aren't just bad Dark Souls bosses.
It instantly seemed way better to me than Oath and Felghana, like in a surprising way, even though the games are so similar on a surface level. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, peak game.
Nice. Okay, and then Ryan has Mushihime-sama, the full title.
Futari. It's just a good game.
It's another cave shmup.
Yes. So sort of like follows in the original's path of being sort of like quote unquote simple, right? Like not really any player gimmicks, but really just takes it to a new high in terms of like presentation, pretty much on all the levels. I mean, the first boss in this bug game is a fucking dinosaur. That's awesome. Raph, if it has anything else to say, because he's also played this game, you have 20 seconds.
It's all about like bullet canceling. It's really cool. Like it'll fill your screen with so many bullets you can't see any space to move, and then it'll just the bullets all disappeared. It makes me very happy, and
one of the player characters.
Time.
One of the player characters has a dragon.
He's also like a Shota who's like sexualized. Let's not. Cave's weird. All right, let's not.
Hold on.
I think Kaim, you're on for the first time right now. Do you have like an honorable mention for 2006 maybe randomly? I'm sorry to like, yeah.
If you don't,
it was on the spot. Yeah, it was like
I don't blame you. This is a pretty bad year, so.
Maybe Issa. Anybody else? Maybe.
Nah, I'm good.
Damn. Okay.
Never hear of Ridge Racer 7? It's really cool.
You didn't write it down on the list, so fuck you. You can't pull the. Oh, why did nobody say it?
R2. No, I'm joking.
All right. By the way, Kama, I am glad you joined, so we can bring some balance to our first matchup, which is Final Fantasy XII versus Gears of War.
Yes.
You might be surprised at my offer for that.
Oh shit!
I like both games though.
I clocked you as a big Final Fantasy XII fan. Like, do you like have sort of feelings on it?
I feel like see, a bit like it's kind of hard. It's complicated because I feel like the biggest thing for me is that all the complaints that people have ever had about like party member AI in like any game most games in general is like answered by the Gambit system, because like some RPGs, especially ones that are more action focused, have like, oh, here's a party strategy thing, like, okay, at this threshold your character like heal like this character, like, you know, kind of like how people complain about Kingdom Hearts, how like, oh, Donald doesn't heal me when I need him to, like he always uses like cure or throws out items like the moment you take damage and stuff like that. But like Gambits give you like a full like control of your party and what they do, and you don't have to worry about like things going wrong, because it's like it's very granular on how you set that up, and that's more or less my favorite part of the game, other than just how, like, I guess like there's some good parts of like the story that I like, but it's also a relatively unfinished game, like as far as that goes, like when you think of when you make it to like the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, it's complicated. It's
I guess the gambits sort of are the game in a lot of ways too. As far as I understand. Raph, I think you're sort of more mixed on that whole system, right? Especially compared to games that maybe iterated on later.
Yeah, most of it is just the tool set is standard JRPG tool set, so you can still like run into that same problem of like, okay, elemental weakness, buffs, heals, kind of repeating that. There's some really creative bosses though. I gotta give it credit there. Some actual like puzzly ass fights that make use of everything.
Yeah, I guess I always felt okay. The setup kind of is the most interesting part of a lot of traditional JRPGs. So one game like honing in really on that sounds sort of cool, but like everybody tells me I wouldn't like it. Sugar, you feel like deep dived or deep dove. You deep dove the Gears of War series recently, and you're a big fan, right?
Yeah, I think it's crazy how I don't know, it gets tossed under the bus so much lately because everybody's more mad about the things it spawned than itself.
Yeah.
Like people say all kinds of bullshit about it because like they think about the games again that it spawned more than itself because it doesn't do a lot of the problems that people tend to have with third person shooters because even in the first game, but especially in the third and fourth, they really try and get you out of cover all the time. And almost every new enemy type works towards trying to get you to actually maneuver. Gears 2 is kind of an exception there where it takes a back seat for most of the game, but
yeah, I do also like the. I mean, I don't want to overrate it, and I'm not as well versed with the mechanics as I should be, but I do always like that the movement itself is kind of endemic to the cover system, right? I mean, famously, the fastest way to move is by just bouncing between pieces of cover. If you've ever seen like a wall bouncing clip on YouTube, this is the most insane shit.
yeah, I've done it before, and it's pretty janky. Like especially in the first couple of games, they really nailed it by the third one though. It feels really smooth.
Yeah.
Like, which is weird because the game also feels very heavy. Like
yes,
that game's got so much weight and cruft to it. Like
cruft.
Yeah, and that's really satisfying about it. Like it is that exact.
Yeah, it feels really good actually.
Feeling,
like the worst thing about Gears 1 I can say as far as its weapons go is that the shotgun in Gears 1 is kind of wet farts compared to most everything else, but like also the fact that it keeps wanting you to rotate your weapons for the most part. Like the torque bow also is like nuts. It's such a good fucking weapon concept.
Do
we have any Gears haters in here?
I like Gears. Gears is cool. I'm with you on the Sugar. Yeah, I think Gears 1 also like and Dead Space also has this as well. But like, I think it inherits a lot of the good qualities of RE4, and I think the big one is like probably its pacing. You know, the 5X structure, and it has a nice sense of progression, and like is constantly introducing new ideas. You have the little crawly guys and the bigger dudes who suppress you, and you know, it's like you're getting those remixed encounters pretty consistently throughout the campaign. It's actually to the point that the remaster they did that includes like the extra chapter where you fight the Brumac or whatever, going from like 5X to 6, it feels like significantly weaker.
Yeah, I do like some of the changes in the remaster. Like they sort of basically ported over the more permissive controls from the later games. But then yeah, I do agree the pacing kind of suffers. Maybe does anyone have like final words on FF12 before we wrap up?
I do like that it actually has encounter design that feel designed around using our resource. A big example is like these big desert area where you just have to go through it, and there's a ton of enemies that feel designed around you using your items you had at that point, and it comes pretty early in the game. So yeah, I like that it actually is a JRPG with encounter design.
Nice. Obviously, this is not a this is not a matchup that makes any fucking sense, but like, yeah, you know, it's time to vote. It's just the setup of it. I feel like Gears might clear it, yeah. Wait, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. So if you get 5, you clear.
Got 5.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. I think
12 does look very nice. That was a very nice game.
It's actually kind of nutty.
But
yeah, see if we were more popular online, then this would probably spark insane outrage.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's be little goobers while we can. Yeah.
I was gonna say you're sitting on like a gold mine of controversy. I think one of the episodes is gonna blow up and like, oh, I love this, and they're gonna retweet it, and then everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck were they? What?
You just clip this. You just clip this specifically. You just post it on Twitter.
Okay, maybe this is a slightly more logical matchup. Persona 3 versus Okami. This is sort of, these are really long, unwieldy games, like very difficult to sort of revisit and have updated opinion on. I'm sad Alan isn't here because like he's Persona 3's biggest warrior. Maybe I think Raph, you're a big fan of Okami, right? I think you voted for it as well.
I'm the biggest fan. There's nothing wrong with this game. If y'all say anything bad about it, I will correct you. I platinumed this game, all right? It's a beautiful, this overwhelming audio-visual experience. It sort of takes the Zelda formula, but doubles down on the overworld more than the dungeons. So it's more about the story, the side quests, the exploring the towns, than the actual sort of puzzly stuff. It is long, right? It's basically 3 RPG stories back to back. It's basically Fate Stay Night. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's the worst sell of all time.
God damn it.
I do agree with
know,
you though.
Yeah.
I don't think it leverages progression items way better than most Zelda games.
Yeah.
I had a lovely time when I finished it, personally. I don't know how much I would enjoy it on revisit, but yeah.
The fact that your quote unquote dungeon items are all things you just draw on a whim is really convenient. And I mean, honestly, the drawing system in general, it's pretty crazy how well it works. And sometimes they do actually make use of it in clever ways. Like sometimes they do want you to like turn the camera around so that you can get like a specific view, so your paint, lines up with certain objects in the background.
Do we have any Okami haters in here? I think I'm gonna ask that also.
No.
That's crazy. I feel like this.
Yeah, no one has anything bad to say about this game whatsoever.
I feel like this would be such an anti-Okami server.
Okay, I will say one thing. Okay, the dialogue is really fucking drawn out sometimes. It really tests your patience.
It was
sometimes.
Kamiya's first time writing a video game.
No,
yeah, it's fun. So, Persona 3. Hot Pocket, you're sort of a reluctant fan of Persona 3, right?
Oh god, I don't want to be the fucking guy.
I gotta involve everybody a little bit. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yep. I mean, it's been, first of all, it's been a long time since I played this game.
Yep.
I think it is the best of the modern 3 Persona games, even though I have massive issues with this game.
Yep.
I mean, I want to say, I think, how do I say this? It has a lot of the gameplay thematic fusions that I do associate with games I hold in high regard, like Rain World. I think they did it well enough in this game that they somehow tricked everyone into thinking that that was an actual, like, how do I say that was an actual intent of their design, and that they didn't just get lucky, because right after they immediately threw it all away. So yeah, this is like a good accent, or I don't know. It has a lot of good things about it, but someone else defend this game. I don't want to defend this game.
Look at the box art, bro.
That's very sick.
I post the OP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, John played Persona 3. He can speak to it.
Oh yeah.
I don't like JRPGs. It seems fine. I think it actually seems like a pretty decent one of those. Yeah, I did the ending, and the most interesting part was converting the save file from GameFAQs and then putting that in the PSX2, and then beating the file boss, which was so long, even though I had everyone was level 99 and I had 99 in every item.
Yeah, I think
Terrible mechanics. The combat and dungeons are very bad. They're not bad in the Etrian Odyssey way of it is not that complicated, but it exists to do friction. They are bad in the way of it's unconsidered and they needed to iterate on it, and then of course
And they never did.
that did not occur. Yeah, they never. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say I see all the promising qualities of this game. I think for me, it's always like, well, it's number one, the length is just way too insane for how repetitive it is, and that's it. The thematic meaning of like literally anything in this game kind of gets lost in the repetition a little bit, right? It becomes too mundane to think about it on that level for me. But then the other thing is just I do not really resonate with a lot of the specific plot elements of it. I mean, like, anyone who's played it knows, okay, it's sort of, it is probably, of the three, it is the most, like, outwardly outlandish modern Persona game, right? A lot of the supernatural things that do happen are sort of part of the actual real world rather than having this hard split. And that for me, maybe I'm too hung up on it, but like that's always made it sort of weird for me to connect with. Yeah. We got like 10 seconds.
I think most of its strengths are backloaded.
Yeah, for sure.
The intro is
oh my god,
it's
yeah.
it's terribly fucking paced.
It's like coming along. What are you talking about? It's really good.
You just go on GameFAQs.com.
I'm voting a Kami on principle. Probably better.
Because I put you on the spot.
Oh,
I think that's
actually
yeah. Okay,
we need to do like
dude,
we need
Raph,
to dog off.
I'm so tired of this dude.
What? I don't.
When's the Raph band arc?
It'll be next month. Don't worry.
He is solely responsible for Chibi Robo. Okay.
That's good.
Before recording, I kept
Raph's
saying
not gonna vote for Chibi Robo 2 is the thing.
y'all don't even like this game. Like, that's what's crazy about it. And y'all robbed me of King Hearts 2. Like,
Chibi Robo is great.
I won't live
not stand for this.
I won't live that down. All right. It's Hitman Blood Money versus Mega Man Star Force DX. So Raph, you're like the big Mega Man Star Force evangelist with like 5 billion asterisks, right?
It's one big asterisk, all right? You
got
gotta play it with the quality of life mod, all right? Okay, look, it's free, it's easy to get. I don't know, it's Capcom made an action RPG. They made something that's all about counter hits, about timing your attacks right before an enemy attacks you, and sort of the nuance of changing your strategies based on the timing and range of the attacks you're given. Attacks that are randomized through a deck. It has all this cool stuff. It's good game. I think the structure is excellent. It is very, very tightly paced.
Ooh.
It is constantly throwing new ideas at you. It is has a very lean script that tells you exactly what you need to know, and then it moves on. It has simple dungeons. It has a progression system that's all horizontal instead of purely vertical. It's awesome. It's one of the few JRPGs where I play it for the gameplay because it's just intrinsically fun in a way that most are.
That sounds way too good to like to not have some kind of caveat. Hot Pocket, I think you weren't sold on it, right? When you play with the mod.
No, I liked it.
Oh, you like it? Oh, okay. Maybe I got the wrong idea.
I already said, I said that in one of the chats. Yeah, I mean, it's basically what Raph said. I think
where it's like you basically have like a deck building system, and you kind of have a hand. You have like a hand of 6 cards, and you and basically every turn you have like a little time to like use those cards. And the cards have different attacks with different like frame data and projectile properties and stuff. And you get an extra card if you get a counter hit in the turn, and it's all real time, right? Like the only thing that's not real time is like picking which cards you want to play per turn, or sorta. Yeah, it seems like a good game. From what I played, I think the main issue I would potentially have with it is it can get insanely feast or famine, where you just get obliterated instantly if you go out of position or whatever, and there's just no I don't know. Also, the healing is like not well considered as an attrition thing. in terms of between fights, that's like an extremely common JRPG issue.
Yeah.
And the actual battles themselves are pretty fun. It seems like a good game.
Nice.
I liked it.
Okay. Okay, I was having the wrong idea. I'll play with the mod. I'll give it a try. Where's Blood Money? Issa, I always clock you as the Hitman girl.
Yeah, but I mean, I like Blood Money. It has a lot of good levels, a lot of iconic moments.
Mhm.
My main problem with it is that it technically has a very systemic mechanic, like the push. If you push someone, they go flying, and if they are close to a rail, they'll fall, and it will count that as an accident kill. If they are under certain elevation, they will also die, which is kind of funny. You can drop them off the stairs, and they will just drop dead. But I also think it's a very prescriptive mechanic. Like says a lot that a lot of his action got replaced with contextual stuff in the new trilogy. I don't think it's flexible enough for how systemic it is at the surface. Still a really good game though.
Okay. Do we have any more big Blood Money fans?
I like it. It's a cool game. I think I've well established at this point that like the platonic ideal of stealth is shooting everybody and playing like a complete asshole. So Blood Money is like the perfect game for that. But I think this one is really like nicely paced. A good balance of like you have the larger kind of more iconic Hitman levels where it's a big party and you have to assassinate. You have like a bunch of options of assassinating your targets. And then the ones that are a little more gimmicky, but I think they sort of complement each other well over the course of a playthrough. Like the new Hitman games, I think are really solid. I mean, I gave the first one like a 1.5 stars, but they're like good open-ended like puzzles. But this I think is like a nice balance if you're kind of interested in playing a bunch of back-to-back levels.
I also think like the presentation is really good. Like at the end of the level, you get like a newspaper that says exactly what you did to the target and how you killed them. And if you got if you got solid assassin, it's like mysterious assassin that throws someone off a cliff. But if you go murder spree, then the newspaper reflect that. I always thought that was a cool touch.
This was sick.
The ending's great too. Like I think stealth games traditionally end pretty badly, but this like they have it's not like not at all a stealth level, but the final section is
it's thematically appropriate, I'll say.
Yeah, and very well presented. It's like it's one of the few games where like one of the few stealth games I can think of where it's like that's a fun like way to close it out.
That's kind of surprising. Okay, do we have any more takes on either of those two games? Or like I don't know if there's any meaningful comparison we can make here, but
Star Force is like a Pokemon type ROM hack type thing, by the way. If you experience it this way, I just reminded me I need to mention this. It's like paced like a Pokemon game where there's like it's a literal like kid story. Like I don't even mean that in a derogatory way, but like I kind of don't care, So I'm like, you gotta mash through stuff.
Yeah, we're all confident in our maturity and stuff. Like we're not insecure.
I'm also a baby, so it's perfectly suited for my tastes.
You're right, Raph's reading the dialogue.
Okay, it's time to vote. Oh, John with Star Force, okay. 2 for Star Force, 2 for Blood Money, 3 for Star Force.
Sorry, Raph, I got
It's 3-3.
Okay. Do I have to break the time? Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fast-paced action game. It has God-hand counter hits.
I'm gonna say, like, I think, knowing myself, I probably would like Star Force more. I did like the Battle Network games back in the day. And I also think, I mean, you could probably make a more logical comparison with Mother, so, like, fuck it, let's go with that. I'm sorry.
Also, yeah, Star Force is actually got to mention it's like way leaner than Battle Network. Like it is like they got rid of all the dumb nonsense.
Okay.
I'm okay with this because my contrast would have been the one in here. That's actually the secret best one.
I will say with
Ooh.
Star Force, the game is hilariously fast. It actually feels like you're like playing. You like check and you're like, do I have like a sped up emulator or something? No, the game just plays that fast.
That's sick.
Okay, it's time for Yakuza 2 versus Monster Hunter 2 DOS.
The Battle of Fives.
I cannot think of a bigger DOS head than Ryan. I think you wrote a 5-star review for it, right? On Backlogged. I'm not sure how ironic that was, but
the contents of the review were genuine. I would definitely. I think 5 stars is more just like I really enjoyed my time playing it. I mean, definitely. Also important to understand that was mostly just single player related. It sort of does inherit like the sort of slow, really bad like hunter rank that sort of old Monhun has that makes it very drawn out. But I mean, God forbid, trying to avoid the word vibes with this game, but there's like very cool like social elements to the online. It's very nice, but most of my enjoyment and my appreciation just comes from the single player, and primarily like if I'm going to be playing Monster Hunter where there's like some sort of like item management and gathering, like the way this game does it is very cool, and like this sort of streamlined but not autopilot kind of way. I mean, there's certainly quality of life fixes that could be added, but on the whole, I think it's sort of a big step in the right direction in that regard. I guess my last thing I'll say is, as a combat game, like I would probably play something else. I think that is a big thing I should clarify. Like a game like Portable Third, which is basically the furthest I've gotten in terms of like the chronological order or whatever. But yeah, it's not a vibes game though.
For our listeners, yeah, this is a Japan exclusive Monster Hunter, right? I mean, it's literally Monster Hunter 2, and from what I understand, a lot of its unique selling points were not exactly picked up by later games.
Yeah, it stayed in this game pretty much.
Yeah.
Freedom 2 went back to the Monster Hunter 1 formula.
Yeah. There was I think some of the content, or a lot of the content maybe even, reappeared in Portable Seconds.
Most of it, pretty much.
Yeah, which is Freedom 2 in the West.
Because still, just like in Monster Hunter 1, some fights are online exclusive. High rank is online exclusive too.
Yeah.
So
but the overall feel of the games is still very different, so you would have to play this one to kind of get the experience. So Yakuza 2 is sort of confusing to me, because like when I got into the series, which was around 2015, I felt like there was this common agreement that, oh yeah, this is peak, this is the best one, it was so sick. The rivalry between fucking Gora and Kiryu is the peak, and the vibe and the aesthetic, so sick, blah 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 blah. And now I'm going on the internet and everybody's like, no, this is the worst one actually. It has the most goofy story and like
No.
I don't like. I see. I'm a very insecure person, right? Despite what I said earlier, like I'm very easily convinced that I was actually wrong, and I keep doubting myself. So maybe Isa wants to take it.
I think one of the coolest thing about the game is how it went about solving the lock-on problem that the first game had. Instead of making the lock-on tighter, which it did, but it also made like the non-lock-on actions looser. Like in the first game, there was these 180 moves that were pretty stiff and very situational. They took that and pretty much made an entire system out of it. You can just jump from enemy to enemy by holding the analog stick in that direction, which no other Yakuza did as smoothly as this one, I feel.
Yeah,
and makes the crowd control very interesting.
I feel like there's a lot of unique merits to this PS2 engine in general. I do appreciate the HD Yakuzas, but there's something about that specific style, that aesthetic, that feel that was just never quite captured again that I really latched onto. And I'm very convinced you don't get that in Kiwami as well. Like
it has a very like melancholic vibe, especially the second game.
Yeah.
So that didn't have this very moody, low key aesthetic to them that I really like.
Yeah.
But I don't think Kiwami 2 captured that well.
Yeah, the cutscene presentation needs to run 30 FPS with the same motion blur. That's so true. Like, yeah, the cutscene presentation leveled up a surprising amount from the first game as well. It definitely has that like Korean cinema, film noir kind of vibe in places. Maybe I'm overselling it, but does anyone here hate this game? Or just have negative things to say about it in general?
Probably Pang, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Pang. I think the story has some weird detours that don't really go anywhere. But it's also a great game. Screw Pang, he's not here.
Well, here, wait, I haven't played any of these games. What Yakuza meme is in this one? Like, what scene?
I posted it.
It's the one with the
tigers,
slapping the table, yeah. Also, is this not the one where he runs into the babies?
This one, then.
Into the guys with diapers? Is that the one?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna peacock your mom, I think. Dude, all the memes are from this one.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you know it's the best one, okay?
So it's in between that or the game that introduced the gun ones.
I need to give my 5-second defensive dose. Every game I've played in the past fucking year has just been like, wow, I wish I was playing Monster Hunter. And even the worst Monster Hunter's better. Even the worst Monster Hunters are better than almost every game on all these lists.
I think I respect the energy of that. Just fuck you, John.
Oh my god.
Would you say that Kiwami's the best way to play too?
Yes, exactly.
I'll say about Kiwami 2, there's something really funny they added in one of the important cutscenes. Where I won't spoil it too much, but it's like a very moody cutscene where something sudden happens. And in the original, you don't hear anything, but in Kiwami 2, they add a stock knife sound effect. It's one of the funniest cutscenes I ever seen.
Okay, Raph, is that a vote for Yakuza? So you're voting for Dose, right?
Wait.
So is it
it's 4-3?
Oh, it's 4-3. Okay. Does anyone else?
It's 4-3, assuming.
I don't know.
I don't know. John, what the fuck?
See, I mean, maybe it's a 2, maybe it's a pause symbol, like on a TV. Like that was also a thought I had.
What would make it a tie?
Dose.
If you voted for Dose, it would be a tie.
Vote for Dose.
Fuck, dude, I don't want to have to do this. Fuck. This is so weird. I feel like.
Oh, I changed my mind actually. What's that? Yakuza 2? Oh, okay. Well.
Is that serious? Should I give it to Yakuza 2?
Oh wait, I got to delete that message. Wait.
Well, that's why you beat him up, you know. So it's actually
true.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, good game enjoyers. We're gonna give it to the vibes entry. I mean, Dose is also vibes, so like, fuck it.
Shut up! No, enough of this.
All right, it's God Hand versus Gears of War. God Hand, I think, is actually our most voted game in the entire thing out of any year. Which maybe, I mean, the meme has been up to this point that maybe 2006. 2006 is really bad. But I mean, God Hand, excellent game. I fucking love this game to death. I never got as good at it as I really want to. I really want to do the arena. That seems really fun. Yeah. Do we have like big God Hand heads in here? Who wants to talk about God Hand a little bit?
I'll say one cool thing I really like is how crowd control works and how you need to set it up with the uppercut. And I think in level die you need to counter it with the uppercut or something like that. I don't remember, but I think it's really sick. And there's a reason it's an universal move instead of being selectable, because it's really important for the crowd control, especially on level die.
I think that is really an admirable thing about this game as well, that literally everything you can feasibly do in this combat system, you can actually do from the very beginning. Like, Jean has a couple universal moves, and like also his standard moves that he starts with, and you basically don't need quote unquote any upgrades from that point onward. Now, of course, it does the stupid thing of like there's like this there's better versions of the same move later that just does more damage and stuff. Like, it's kind of silly, right?
Yeah, but I think in terms of properties, the only move properties don't give right away is those with like low invisibility or high invisibility,
Yeah.
or count, or the ones built to counter moves. Those are the ones that we get later. But the rest we get from the get go.
Yeah, I think again for our listeners, maybe Sifu is a game that a lot of y'all are more familiar with. That's a little less obscure. And it's absorbed some of God Hand's qualities, but definitely not all of them. Like this is still a very, very unique game, with very few comparison points. I guess you could also say that a lot of what made Bayonetta great also kind of started here, right? Where it's this really thoughtful approach to non-committal attacks, right? Like God Hand is a pretty like surprisingly non-committal game. You can dodge out of anything at any point, basically, with some exceptions. But then still they built in careful restrictions to not make it fucking stupid. Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah. It's really interesting how it's
the approach to juggling with enemies that it's not like a hard no more combo. It's about reading.
Yeah.
When they'll break out is definitely that's just
that's a super brilliant thing that also carried over directly into Bayonetta, where enemies will they will backflip out of combos, but then when they do it is a little random, so you have to respond to it in real time. But you can respond to it. You can actually continue the combo if you're like on point. That's super sick.
A really sick thing we haven't mentioned is how surprisingly smart the AI can be, especially on the eye, and how smooth the contextual paired animations they have. Like one where the enemy can jump on top of someone's back and drop kick you. That's all is so sick, and you can uppercut that too when he's midair, and that's all is amazing to pull off.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I love how the game rewards like positioning when you and crowd control, because like you can, like I've been digging into it recently, like before we started the GGC stuff, but I was like there would be times where there'd be like a group of enemies, and then I'll take an enemy out, and then a demon will spawn, and then I would like drop kick an enemy into another enemy, launching both of them into like a pillar that breaks, and then like the wall falls on them, and then get free damage, and it just felt really good. Really rewarding.
Raph, did you have any more takes on God Hand or?
Oh yeah, no, I think it's really interesting how it's such a low commitment game, but it's still like building the combat around counter hits means that you can't really react. You can't counter hit on reaction, and instead have to do this sort of Monster Hunter sort of like manipulating enemies' decision trees so that they do consistent things, that you can consistently get counter hits and stuff. It's like really technical and deep in a way that I think few games are.
I'll give Evan the stage real quick. I think you want to say something as well, right?
Yeah, I just said this is one of the few character action games where it feels like you could actually use it sort of to teach you some fundamentals for fighting games. I mean, most character action games I really don't. Yeah.
This game has the best sound design in action games.
Yes.
Yeah. But one of the best soundtracks too.
But I was just gonna say this is probably like one of the hardest of the CAGs you can play, but I think this is one of the least frustrating. I think this is one of the best tones, and I think Gene is a great protagonist for a game where you're gonna die this much.
Yeah, it's like a little long for me overall.
Yeah.
But honestly, that doesn't really detract from my feelings on it too much. Like, just great game. We just glazed God Hand for like 6 minutes. So sorry, Gears. I don't think you had a shot, but
we had to prove we weren't frauds.
It was an admirable. Yeah, it was an admirable effort. Is God Hand's See, yeah, when Gene said the thugs are sexier than Olivia, I think there was like something there. Yeah, there was like
Wokand.
Yes.
Golden Silver is both the most problematic and the most progressive boss of all time.
Yes. Okay. let me put that shit in. Alan is in chat to say that Gahan sucks and is stupid. Oh yeah, see, I already forgot that Persona lost.
No.
I don't know what's better, if he's typing this on the road, like he's on some like highway and he's like weaving through trucks to the right, or if he's pulled over.
Alan, if you want to join at any point, like feel free. So our next matchup. Oh hell yeah! What's up, Alan? Maybe I think
Persona 3 was robbed.
Yeah, you're the only person like truly qualified to speak on Persona 3. Do you want to maybe get like a little minute on it?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I guess what I would say about it is, while there are other Atlas RPGs that are like maybe more well-rounded experience, Persona 3 is like the most specifically articulate game they've ever made. It expresses something relentlessly. Like all of its aspects are like focused in on expressing this, like the passage of time and like the anxieties and experiences that come with that. And I think that's super cool and very compelling, and definitely better than Zelda but bad. I can't speak on Ace Combat Zero, but it's better than Okami at least.
I guess we'll find out right now. Yeah, Ace Combat Zero, that's like because I jumped on it for this, and I think a lot of people got hooked on it because John wrote a great review for it, and I think you're just in general a big fan of this game, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, going back to it now, it's like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah. I know
we're getting the audio from.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
It happened years
Someone's
ago.
audio is coming through.
Did you know?
Did you know there are three kind of aces? Those who seek strength, those who live for pride, and those who can
the tide of battle.
Yep.
Those are the three. And him? He was a fighter pilot. They
Okay,
called
sorry.
Solo.
I'm sorry. Okay, I just want to say, I'm gonna say really quickly. Okay, this game was fun. I think it's like a 7 out of 10. I like it. But god damn it, y'all. Like, y'all you spent so much time shitting on like what is considered an unobjectionable masterpiece like Shadow of the Colossus, right? And convinced me that it's an 8 out of 10, right? But then Ace Combat Zero is supposed to be like the fucking 5 out of 5. I don't know about that, y'all. Okay, that's my bid.
They're both 10s to me, so.
Yeah, I don't see the issue here. They're both 10s.
John, continue.
That writing sounded like 10 shit to me, so.
What were you gonna say? What's up?
Continue, John. Like, yeah.
I'm still reeling. No, that's it. It's a funny meme. I was actually the one sentence thing is, this is MGR but good and truer to itself. It's super simple. They say all the iconic stuff that you've seen and all the funny, like I don't know who the guys are who did like the videos on YouTube where they sort of like recap the game. But it's Borders, what have they ever done for us? And buddy, are you still alive? All that shit. And then you do the fun Ace Combat gameplay. And I think the morality system, the twisted game needs to be reset. Very good. It's just that. It's just good. You play it and you either you like it or you don't. And I think it's the well-made schlock.
This game's for fans of flamenco music, so if you don't like flamenco, you should probably not play it.
Also, that's racist.
Dude, like the part where they show all the knights of, like, y'all need to watch this intro. It is the most insane thing you'll ever watch.
It's good. It's so good.
It is great, but like they show all the knights of the round, like the important characters that I don't even remember if you like interact with them. I don't fucking know. But like there's like this guy called the Strategist, and he will like sort of like jump cut dance around the screen like for 3 seconds, and then he's gone, and then cuts to a man who upholds honor, a woman of undying faith.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh, because it's fun. They have the round table. Yeah. where it's like there's the community, there's no, it's only pilots can go into the round table. And then you shoot down the big laser, and it's like, oh, he pulled the sword from the stone.
The final boss was so insane. Like,
and the dam is called Avalon. Like,
oh my god, all the German references as well. Like, so there's this one village that's called Hoffnung, which is the German word for hope, right? And it's like hope. They say abandon Hoffnung, and I'm like, I see what you're doing.
I really appreciate the
subtext.
The Spain equivalent is Sappin.
Yes, I was like, oh shit, like I'm reading letters. Yeah, I guess one thing I'll say seriously on it, right? I think Ace Combat is one of those series that's like where the mechanics are technically kind of deep, right? Where there's definitely a lot of positioning, distance. There's like a lot of nuance to, like, for example, you're approaching an enemy, right? And then before you fire the missile, you pull up your nose just a little bit to give your missile a little bit more of an angle, right? All that shit is cool, but I feel like in practice, a lot of the time, it feels more repetitive than it should be. Kind of. I'm not sure how exactly to articulate this, but like, I don't feel the depth of that as much as it seems, sort of theoretically. Yeah. Maybe Raph, like you're a big skill gamer, right? Like, do you have thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, the AI sucks. I hate this game. They cheat all the time. They're set to like perfectly dodge all your attacks unless you're in a certain mode, which they're perfectly vulnerable. So there's a lot of like waiting around, but it's fun.
Okay, see, that's the feeling I had, and I didn't want to say it because like I was expecting to get like skill issued.
Yeah, the only time they're like 100% vulnerable is when they're chasing you. So like a lot of the best ways to get a missile is to like deliberately chase them into overshooting you, and then you'll have like a free like boom 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 get them.
Yeah,
that's sick though.
I think that would make me.
Oh yeah,
great. It's cool for the experience, I think. I think it would just make me reluctant to like wanna master it more seriously as an arcadey kind of experience. Yeah.
It's also worth noting that the AI is different depending on your route. So, like if you're doing the mercenary route, the AI is actually like more aggressive and annoying.
That's
and, like,
cool.
More bit more dynamic as opposed to the knight route where they're just sort of like, I'm spinning in circles.
Yeah. I didn't really. I did knight, and I didn't really. I definitely felt that.
The ally system is implemented in a dumb way, in my opinion. It's not bad. It's like balanced really badly. But the soldier doesn't. The soldier route makes no sense, and the knight route is like if you just play the game normally, you'll get on that. Like there's like no drive to do Persona 3, I think. Right?
Okami.
Or no, Okami.
Oh, Okami.
Wait, it's Okami?
Yeah, it's Okami.
Yeah, it's unclear.
I forgot. Goddamn. Whatever. Well, whatever. It's Okami. I don't know.
Yeah. It didn't even occur to me how I wouldn't get knight. When I played it, I was like, what?
No. You kill people who are running away. Like you kill neutral targets.
Well, like it doesn't make any. There's like no reason you would do that unless I want to kill people. You know what I mean?
It's like, this is a very moral
game. Ludo, then.
Are you really upholding honor? Are you reading the tide of battle? Like, what is it?
Well, if you're playing efficiently and you're using like AoE stuff, you'll like oopsies for atrocity, So
nah, I'm just
but that happens like randomly, like one time. It's balanced so leniently that it'll never get you off the route, pretty much.
Okay, it's 5 for coming.
Well,
but I'm glad we.
Last Raven did it better.
Dude, Last Raven clears this so hard. I'm sorry, like, it's a good game. I did like it. I don't. I have to like. I have to over exaggerate my quote unquote hate for AC0 because like for the bit, but it's a good game. I liked it. That's worth playing. Oh wait, I was about to get it today. Come on. All right.
You know what? I can understand it. We need one Zelda game in the top 4.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, Wind Waker didn't make it. Okay.
Well,
Good.
Mother 3, I have a lot to say about that.
Then go.
What? Oh, no, you gotta do your intro.
Just go.
Okay. Look, Mother 3, I don't think it's a great game. I think it's a great story that happens to be a game, right? The combat is totally perfunctory. The RPG mechanics are so half-baked and underwhelming that they're only there as a byproduct of the genre. It's the sort of game where, like, I really love it still, but it's the sort of game where I wonder, like, how much better it would be as a 12-episode cartoon instead of a video game that tries to tell this melodrama with tiny little sprites. Like, it's hard to take so much of this game so seriously when you're dealing with like a 10-pixel guy and he's like, oh, I'm sad. It's just Star Force is an actual game, all right? Look.
What? Okay, at first I thought you were serious, but for a second I thought you were serious. I guess I will say, okay, to respond to some of the real points in there, right? I think the parody RPG angle kind of worked better in Earthbound, because it was a more sincere attempt at actually copying Dragon Quest, right? Whereas in Mother 3, it is much more streamlined to the point where it feels so in service of just telling this very linear story, versus making a point about like RPG design, kind of like Earthbound did. I do think there's a couple really great moments that leverage the format that I really don't want to spoil, but I do sort of see that mechanically there's not much there. Like, mechanically it doesn't try to think about kind of what it's doing, I think. Yeah.
Right. It's like if I wanted to play something, like it sucks to say this, but like games are in a spot where like we kind of have to like make compromises. So even though Mother 3 doesn't actually like make use of the medium all that well, it's still like a highlight in terms of storytelling. Which it's awkward, right? Like this could be better, but it's currently the best we got. As opposed to Star Force, which got a mod, which makes it even better than before.
Oh my god.
No, but Mother 3 has mods too that do that stuff. I'm sorry, Raph. I can't let you do it this time.
Sugar, maybe do you have more sort of thoughts or feelings on Mother 3?
No, actually.
Maybe anybody else, like Mother 3 fans?
Yeah, it moved me to tears when I played it. I was really surprised by how effective it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was playing. I'm like, this is so fucking bad. Why am I doing this with my time?
Okay. Dude, oh my god, shut up. Yeah, that's so mean. That's so mean. Oh my god.
You know, the first and only GBA game with an actual soundtrack.
I did cry when I played it, okay? Like, goddamn, dude.
Sorry.
Like yeah, you feel bad now, right?
Yeah. Ashamed of my words and deeds.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even want to this. Oh, it is peak in the specific ways it is peak. But it definitely it's not a game that I overall like. After I played it, I was like, that was cool, but like it never really took up that spot in my heart, you know? That's kind of how I feel about it.
I guess, I mean, if you were to, you know, I think with games there is like it's got to be replayable, but like, I think with like films and books, there's more of a sense like you can play this helped me, this shook some stuff out of me, and I can kind of move on with like just that experience and enjoy that one time. I guess how would you say like Mother 3 compares to, I don't know, Shoplifters or something, you know, where you see it once and you just kind of you take the experience with you.
I still gotta see Shoplifters, by the way. I liked his new movie. But yeah, that is the exact thing, right? I feel like I would probably get more out of it thematically because I'm just at a different point in my life now, right? I think, and I feel that way about movies as well, right? And I think from that angle, I would still be interested in revisiting it. And I'd also say, mechanically, it is anemic, but it's not in a way where it puts me off of playing it again, right? I think I would still enjoy it, yeah. And I think there's value to it for sure, yeah. See, Raph, I agree with what you're saying in chat that Undertale does use the medium better, but I don't like it. I don't like Undertale. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fair. That's totally fair.
I think
Deltarune's better.
Yeah, for me, it's mostly a writing thing, yeah, because like, yeah. I don't know if there's any more we can like really say on this. Like, wait, what's up against again?
It's Star Force, right? I think Star Force to me is a game like you just have fun, right? Mother 3 wants to make you cry.
And it does make you cry.
I don't see the appeal of negative emotions, right?
Oh my god.
Video games are all about happy feelings.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay, do y'all want to vote?
Oh, that's rough.
Don't do this. Oh no. Okay. What? Why are so many people abstaining?
All right, the majority voted for abstaining.
That's not how that works. Okay, we got a tie. Okay, no one. I think there's nobody else left, right? So it's up to me.
This is the first bracket with 5 winning games. That's crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna do the generic. Well. Okay.
The action game, right? The action game
Raph.
They
didn't both win; they both lost.
I have two options, right? I have two options. I could do the generic gamer thing and pick Mother 3, and everybody's gonna look at the list and like, oh, y'all are so creative, huh? Or I could pick Star Force, and everybody just goes like, what the fuck? Like literally nobody will understand it if Star Force makes it. And that's
go with Mother 3. Let's go with Mother 3.
The thumbnail. See it, please.
I think my comment was too rude. I'll switch over to Mother 3.
No, John, come on.
Okay, I'll vote Mother 3, but I vow to play Star Force. If that's the compromise I'm willing to make.
Oh, Sugar, what? Oh, come on. See, look.
Well, I changed mine too. So it's still.
God
damn it. So now it's time for.
I'm not changing anymore, I promise.
It's time for Dead Rising versus Yakuza 2. John, you reviewed Dead Rising recently on your backlog, right?
Yeah, I was very optimistic that it was a good game, and it's not. Well, it's good for the first couple of hours. This is one where it's the classic survival horror arc. The first couple hours, you're learning the layout of the mall, and you don't have like really good items, and there's like a bunch of really like. I think even now there's a surprising amount of like roadblocks throws your way as you're like learning them all. The convicts, Gun Guru really famously, but like you're going to go to the gun store and you get killed by that guy, and then I think Adam the Clown, who's probably like the toughest fight in the game, is like the first night. And when I like went back to it, the first couple of days are really, really good about like putting you in these interesting situations. And it's also got this like leveling system, so like you have like a very slow movement speed and a very low amount of health. But as you get like a better handle on it, the game kind of snowballs, where it has less interesting scenarios, and you get like just better, like more health, and you get like some of the better items. Like the Adam drops these chainsaws that are like the best thing in the game, and they kind of invalidate the bosses. So it's weird because I think it is a really cool like systemic game, and I'm surprised by the amount of stuff that like. And I think when we were talking about Deus Ex, I was like, "Oh, Dead Rising is an immersive sim," but I'm like, it doesn't feel like that far off, because there are things like, oh, you can make, there's like a blender where you can take 2 food items and do like the Breath of the Wild like recipe system, and you can make quick step, or you can make zombie, or you can make all these weird little things that will like you can use to help solve the problem. It's got this weapon durability system where it's like your stuff breaks, and so you have to kind of think about like, do I give this to survivor because it'll be they can use it forever, or do I use this for as long as possible? And I think there are really cool scenarios, and if you're someone who's like a little bit like Comber about like not totally like optimizing a game, you'll probably get more out of it. I don't know. I would still vote this over whatever else that's being put up against, but yeah, it's I think a deeply flawed but a cool game.
Evan, you're a big fan of Dead Rising, right?
Yeah, well, okay. So I seem to have the slightly unpopular opinion that I think Dead Rising 2 is overall a better game than the first.
Oh yeah,
and my big reason for it is the same that we've already heard. It's just that Dead Rising 1 starts off really, really strong, but it peters out quite a bit in the last couple of days. It really is no exaggeration that like the best bosses are in the first day, and when you beat Adam, you do get like the best weapon in the game. You get an amazing shortcut. there's really no reason not to fight them unless you're like me and you're terrified of clowns. So I guess that kind of helps balance it out. But otherwise, there really is no reason not to, and you're going to just stampede through the rest of the game. It's just not very well balanced. And also, I mean, I don't know. I've heard plenty of people say the story is like really good. And, I think the message is good. I don't have a problem with it. It's pretty stereotypical for a zombie game to have a very basic anti-capitalist message, but that's fine. But I just don't think that like Frank West or any of the characters are that particularly engaging or anything.
He's covered words,
Yeah, not that Dead Rising 2's characters are really any better in that regard, but I find that game slightly dumber writing to actually benefit it, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, Dead Rising is a really good game, even if it does fall off after a while, because I mean, it's one of the only games where route management feels pretty consistently important, no matter like how good at the game you get. The time limit is genuinely strict at times. Like there are downtimes, but I mean, man, like there's still plenty of moments where even with the chainsaws, you gotta really haul ass. And the enemy, I mean, not the enemy, the survivor AI being as dumb as it is, it's infuriating, but it does help keep the game fresh, kind of, because like you're never gonna do a playthrough of this game where everything goes well. You're always going to have like the survivor AI bug out and do something batshit stupid, and you're going to have to make really tough calls. So I kind of like it in that way. It's an early 360 game, and it really shows. It's very jank, but its heart is in the right place, and it's still a very unique experience even after all the sequels.
Hell yeah, I definitely want to revisit this one myself. Because I did love it at the time, and I agree with everything you guys said. Like it does. It, in a way, it feels like kind of an evolution of the classic Resi formula, right? Where it is all about routing.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah, I get you.
But to be honest, like when y'all are saying it falls off like as it goes, that sounds like makes sense, but I didn't quite remember it that way in my mind. So I definitely gotta refresh myself.
To be fair, I mean, like most games of this kind, or even like survival horror games, most games fall off like this over time if they're all about route management, or not management, route in, or like time management or stuff, because like you just eventually get more comfortable in the scenario you're in, and then it loses a little bit of its steam. But I do think there were ways that Dead Rising 1 could have avoided this to an extent, could have, made it not as big of a problem. But yeah, it's kind of hard to avoid that sort of issue with this kind of game.
I still never finished 2 either.
Sick.
Oh, what's up?
My Moon Crash is sick.
That's one I need to hop on, yeah. Dead Rising 2 I never played any of the sequels really, so. Yeah, so for those who forgot, this is Yakuza 2 versus Dead Rising. Like, again, no meaningful comparisons to be made.
Bad Japanese games.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote Dead Rising in support of taking down, and I'm quoting Pang here, Thor High Heels Soy Japan game.
Holy shit. I'm just voting for Dead Rising because I think I'd have more fun playing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the mechanics agenda.
Mechanical game.
The mechanics agenda.
It's a slightly more mechanical game.
Makes you kill like 50,000 zombies though, or something.
Yep. It's like
it's pretty meta narrative.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying.
I don't know where I'm supposed to take this, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't expect the Clover matchup.
Oh, Clover matchup, yeah. I guess.
Oh, it's amazing.
Kamiya made his dumbass game with $1 bajillion, and it stopped them from making God Hand 2.
Kami had a smaller team than God Hand. Just want to point that out.
Is that true?
Listen, we're not gonna talk with actual facts here because I'm pretty sure Clover wasn't killed by Okami, but
well,
that's the narrative.
I think it was the double whammy of both of those games.
I think it was. I remember reading somewhere. I don't want to derail this too much, but I remember reading somewhere it was like it was more just that Capcom was restructuring at the time, and because I think it was very soon after Okami came out. So it's like probably not fast enough, you know.
Yeah, and they want to keep on all the top staff from Clover. I think still.
I forget if it was Shinji Mikami or Kamiya who said it, but like I think one of them said that even that Clover was kind of made in Capcom as sort of like a place to keep all the trouble developers. People who
That's so awesome. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so like yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just like restructuring needed to happen and they're like, yeah, just get rid of that team and then they glare over at Clover Studios.
I am surprised that God and had a bigger team because I remember Mikami saying he told the story where he said one of the devs that he expected God to not sell at all. So it's surprising that he got a bigger
awesome
team
for
than
that. Like that's actually a true Marxist move. Yeah, I guess like this is a very clear vibes versus mechanics argument, right? Like
So I want to say because Okami is placed here, we actually have a bracket that's more boring than if we had just taken our top 4.
Oops. I really liked what
Gears wouldn't be here.
Oh, that's true. Actually, can we replace Okami with Gears real quick?
What are y'all talking about?
Why? So Gears can die twice to God Hand?
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
Well, if it got this far, then it's like the top 4, right? It's like
I like that we are.
If you're in the top 4, you win.
But yeah, while Okami is probably holistically more better built, like Godan eventually gets really repetitive with the encounters. Godan is just a way better game mechanically, like by a mile.
Yeah.
And Okami doesn't. It does have like there's stuff there, there's sauce, but it's just you never actually have are never actually forced to use it. It's one of those you can just go into your inventory and just take all your healing items, right?
Well, you don't even need healing items. That's how easy the game is.
It's just like that's the thing. It's like it feels pointless to even try to analyze the game on that level because like it's just not what it's a more than the sum of its parts kind of game.
Yeah, I mean the combat functions and it's enjoyable enough, but there isn't like much there. Also,
sort of.
You can talk. Can say it.
Oh no, I was gonna filibuster. It's your turn. No.
Now I was gonna say that the bait mechanic works better than it should, considering that it pauses the action. Most of those type of mechanics tend to be really base breakers, but in Okami case it worked out really well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There is one enemy who actually can disrupt you drawing. I wish they actually explored that more, because it's a really interesting concept to actually force you to draw fast.
God, I love the art in this game though.
It's gorge.
I almost want to say, okay, maybe this sounds crazy, right? But like in its totality, I feel like maybe Okami is a little bit more singular than God Hand, because like yes, it is a Zelda ripoff. But like no other game quite looks like this or sounds like this. It has this like kind of epic scale and all that, right? And has like these very at least like very visually creative mechanics, right? And like it obviously really depends on how important that kind of thing is to you. Whereas like I think on the surface, God Hand looks like it's like another action game, which obviously is like unfair to it, right? That would be I definitely prefer God Hand. That's the one I would vote for. But like I guess that'd be my playing devil's advocate for Okami. Yeah.
I mean, God Hand's for people who got filtered by Tekken 8. That's what it is right now.
I didn't get filtered. I like it. How
many matches? How many matches so far?
I'll say
I'm
something.
a busy boy, okay?
I'll say something in favor of Okami. I don't think it portrays his simple method rather well mechanically with the old using the painting to restore the world and
Totally.
And just a general mechanics lean towards a very soothing type of experience.
Yeah, it's a very like you see this even in the little menu descriptions where they talk about like planting seeds, right, to like grow plants and shit, and just like the passion the game kind of exudes. Like it's such a kind game. I don't know, it's I find that very I don't know, just very, very beautiful in like a very simple way. Yeah.
It's a very feel good kind of game.
Yeah, I think
very about protecting nature, and combines that pretty well with the painting system.
I feel like that's something that's very easy to throw out for a lot of games, right? Like I think people will say that about like Wind Waker or like Mario Sunshine or like other games we've talked about, right? But I think this is one where it feels like a worldview kind of.
Raph,
you're not making good case for yourself. I'm fighting better for Kami than you did this whole.
Guys, do you like Jonathan Blow? Because I.
Is that a vote for Okami? The Hot Pocket?
The emotes.
God hand. Oh, I get it. Okay, because I thought my first association was
God
Kami.
hand Splayed.
I'll be honest. Me playing Devil Advocate for Okami
okay.
did make the decision harder.
Yeah.
Because
that's it.
We're so boring.
Part of my God hand. All right. It's Mother 3 versus Dead Rising. Dude, like, what do we even talk about with this one? Do we just want to vote?
I think it's the same argument as Star Force all over again. One's a game, one's Mother 3.
I feel like Raph, you would
saying
probably
Mother 3 is
prefer
more
Mother
than the
3 to
game?
win. My gut says you're more of a Mother 3 guy.
Well, the thing is, I had to drop Mother 3 to a 7 just so it would look like I hate the game. But it's one of my favorites. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's
This
one of the
fucking
best games
guy.
I've ever played.
I'll say, if I can say something, one very interesting weird thing about Dead Rising is how much it relies on his overarching, I guess I'll call it world mechanics, the timing system, because without it to just be a super shooter beat 'em up, but the timing system goes out together in a very cohesive way.
Yep.
I still think that Rising 2 is like the best middle ground for that mechanic, but Dead Rising 1 still does it. At least initially, does it pretty well.
Well, that's why I'd say like Dead Rising is far more about time management than any sort of like zombie thing. You know, like because like you can get zombies anywhere. You can't get the sort of time management that Dead Rising offers much elsewhere.
Does anyone else want to vote? Or does Dead Rising will take it, which would be kind of crazy right now. Oh my god, 3 for Dead Rising. 4 for what the hell? Oh shit, okay. If we get one more. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Where were y'all when I was voting for Star Force? Hey, I see all you.
We need to keep the JRPG 8 agenda going.
Yeah, if one. Oh, Hot Pocket abstained, right? So yeah, that's it. Damn. That's kind of crazy. All right. And then finally, it's God Hand versus Dead Rising. I mean, like,
I mean,
like, what are we even talking about here? Like, come on. Yeah, let Gene take the wheel. Okay. Bush, bash, kaboosh. Okay. Congrats to God Hand. Woo! Absolutely
so
nobody
crazy.
saw this coming.
That's so crazy. Holy shit. That was a clutch win, guys.
God Hand for her to be the winner.
Okay.
No one saw it coming.
Oh wait, oops, that wasn't twice. I think
Honestly, I don't have an opinion. I think like both deserve it.
Hell yeah.
It's so funny. We have like 3 Capcom games in a
Yeah,
top
no,
five.
literally, we're not beating the allegations.
Nope.
It's a Capcom server.
Yeah, I put Mother 3 on number 4. Does this feel right? I feel like Mother 3 was a little more muted here in this round.
That's true. We should have
It was
done Star
close.
Force, and then we could have got if it was Star Force, it would have been 4 Capcom games.
You know what? That would have been an
Holy
insanely funny bit.
crap.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I missed out on
We-
an opportunity there.
We
That's
should have voted
hard.
Star Force, to be honest.
No,
I could
we
have
need
done
less
that.
Capcom in here.
But you know what? I don't know. I'm happy with this. Okay. Time
go to the bathroom.
for 2007, and once again, we first got to talk about honorable mentions. I forget what mine is.
Oh my god.
Oh, mine is
Line up.
Phantom Hourglass. I haven't replayed this game in 7 years. I played this sort of in prep for Breath of the Wild, and I thought it was really awesome. Like surprisingly awesome, honestly. The game has a slightly more open-ended sense of adventure than some other Zelda games of that nature. I think the Temple of the Ocean King is a really interesting idea. That is surprisingly enjoyable. Because as you gain knowledge and like put that information on your map, you feel yourself get better at it, and it's kind of cool. The map in general is like leveraged in interesting ways. Yeah, fun game, cute game. I like it. It's good. Okay, so Evan, you got an untitled story. That does not ring a bell for me at the.
Yeah, so this was a game made by Maddie Thorson, of Celeste fame. This is one of the earlier freeware games she made. I mean, you can get it right now. Just wink, wink. It's a very simple Metroidvania with a very basic art style. It's got like no filler, like no unnecessary mechanics or anything. It's basically just a Metroidvania, but almost entirely centered around platforming. I'm not going to say it does anything extraordinary, but the experience overall is really fun. It's very charming, like if you like if you like old freeware games with MIDI soundtracks, you're going to love that. So yeah, I mean, I would just recommend it. That's all.
Nice. I feel like that's one that would have slipped, below the cracks for like many people. So that's good. John, you wrote down Odin Sphere, which I sort of clocked as like a nod to you kind of game.
It's not, but I think it's worthy of a shout out because I think it's like the platonic ideal of like a Vanillaware game. Big epic, like interconnecting fantasy story. Really great art. With the PS4 remaster, has that food system, which is like probably their biggest claim to fame, or the thing they do best. And then I think a pretty cool combat system where you can like map all your different spells to like fighting game motions.
Yep.
Yeah. Just think what. It is not my kind of game, but I think it is just like worthy of recognition.
Yeah, I need to finish it, dude. I finished like 2 of the characters and really liked it. But it does get sort of repetitive. But yeah, it is very cool. I'm surprised I didn't make the bracket actually, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. Then we got Luna's not here. She wrote down Umi Neko. Did anyone read that here? I think Pop Pocket, maybe you.
I have.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to? I mean, I know you don't like it. I know you hate it.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I don't trust any opinion I had. That was like I read it too long ago at this point, and I liked it overall. I just didn't like specific aspects of it. It's a very, very ambitious and long mystery themed visual novel. Very much about sort of it's like set on this basically. It's set on this island in the classic like Agatha Christie and Then There Were None setup, where it's this island and these murders happen and it's not clear who's doing it, but it's sort of a meta angle of that where there's sort of different characters talking about the closed room mysteries and things like that, and it kind of gets into truth and how feeling into that. It's got some sort of translated stuff in it, which is also why a lot of people like it. Yeah, it's very ambitious, and I don't know, probably a lot of people like it.
Nice.
Cool.
Ryan, the one game that you hear to talk about that you really want to talk about is The Lost Odyssey. The first non-shmup I think that you've recommended.
Yeah, after like 5 shmups in a row. I'll say I have not finished this game. I got to the start of disc 4 and like I was enjoying it. I just like having to put it down. But I think, well, for context, Hironobu Sakaguchi, the original Final Fantasy guy, this is like this sort of beloved like sort of cult classic. Has this really weird mix of being like a sort of slow feeling game, but is paced very well. It's like really brisk and sort of does away with a lot of sort of traditional RPG isms. You basically can't grind, and like, you know, lower level party members will get experience boosts so they catch up. And it's a very interesting combat system, sort of based around like turn priority that you have to really account for like all your individual actions, and is surprisingly balanced because I accidentally ended up doing like the game's like challenge run basically, and I was like, wow, this is a very impressively tightly designed game. It's so cool. I think my last thing, very very short,
Yeah.
but surprisingly short.
Oh yeah, that's something that I wanted to play for sure at some point. Very beautiful as well. Like it's kind of crazy visually.
Yeah, I did not mention like the short story segments, which are probably the game's most iconic feature, but they're very good. I'm now disappearing. Bye
bye. Maybe Sugar, do you have any honorable mentions, or Isa maybe?
2007. Only things I already put in the bracket, basically.
Nice.
So.
I do have one honorable mention.
Okay, go for it.
My honorable mention is the first Witcher. Everyone, you have a bit of adaptation, be very janky, but the mechanics are very very consistent and easy to understand. It's basically Diablo with the rhythm mechanic as stances. The atmosphere is really good. I think it embodies that Western RPG atmosphere. It's one of those type of games people say, I feel nostalgic for a game I'm playing the first time. And Raf can support me on this. The certain quest in chapter 2 is one of the most flexible and logical quest lines I've ever seen, with tons of solutions that don't feel out of place, and lots of way to reach those conclusions that never feel like, I guess, artificial. And I don't think CDPR has ever managed to surpass it in terms of quest design. Yeah, that's my honorable mention.
That's cool. I'll just say really quickly, like, I think I remember watching like an interview or like a documentary or something where BioWare said we consulted on this game. Or no, someone from CD Projekt, they said, yeah, we got BioWare to consult on the game. And what they told us is that this is the best combat system they've ever played.
I won't go that far, but it's way more consistent than people can be credit for. Witcher 2 is a true janky game.
It's like, it seems consistent, but like, it's so funny to me that like the RPG developer, they latch on so hard to like a rhythm game.
And another funny thing about it is it uses one of BioWare engines.
Like, have BioWare ever made good mechanics? Like
yes, that's how they started off. That's like their whole shtick was making very combat-driven dungeon crawlers, and then when they switched to 3D, they dropped all their combat and made some of the worst combat systems.
It's so funny. And then they look at Witcher and they're like, oh my god, yes.
Wasn't Mass Effect 3 didn't have like a weirdly good combat system because it had like that horde mode that people like stuck around for?
Right, developed by the Rocket League guys. So
no, oh, that's so sick.
They did the multiplayer as well. What that's just the other modes. I don't remember if they had any PvP.
Kime, do you have an honorable mention maybe for 2007? Okay, maybe he's AFK right now. All right, let's just go.
Well, I have an honorable mention real quick. I'll do like a short 30-second one. There's this game in 2007 called Moochie Moochie Pork. It's sort of famous for its very fetishistic character designs from a famous artist who's known for drawing plus-size women. But if
Shut the fuck up! Oh my god! Enough!
He's so
I saw you had it as like a 4.5 out of 5 on Backlogged for a day, and now it's like a 3.5 out of 5, I think.
Well, Ryan maybe changed the score, so he went
well,
over
like,
Kotor 2.
Which is the most accurate score?
I would say the 9. I think it's a really interesting blend of like Gorega sort of metal chaining with DOJ resource management, where you're swapping back and forth between a hyper mode to like build up your multiplier. It's actually a really deep game. It's just people are really repulsed by the art style because it's so deeply fetishistic. It's like very misogynist. It's unironically like very problematic, but Sugar would like it, I think.
At this point, I'm not allowed to give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
So
I had to come back on just for that.
So, I guess first thing I want to ask, Hot Pocket, would you say this is the first good year in video games ever?
Yes, I would in fact say that. This was the first good year on this entire list so far.
It's a double-edged sword because like Valve showed up, and on one hand you get like TF2 and Portal, but on the other hand Valve showed up, so
so true. I guess like our first matchup is something, Hot Pocket, you can speak on. Well, one side of the equation at least.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to try Stalker.
But Hellsinger is one of your favorite games, right?
Yeah, I really like Hellsinger. I think it's a game where I can see why people don't like it and don't latch onto it. But I think to me it's one of my favorite shmups. It is a mechanical experiential blend game in my opinion, where a lot of the game is deliberately made obtuse but still uses the arcade structure, and that's almost the aesthetic in and of itself. The mechanics are, I know Raph compared it to like the French bread fighters or something, but shmup form. Very much like there's like 8 characters, each of which have totally different movesets, and you have a ton of like, and there's like these 2 meters that govern when you can use the moves, which of course certain enemies will drop things that increase the meter, and then you can increase the meter yourself by doing other things. It has 3 scoring systems. It's a Zachtronics predecessor of sorts. You can just pick which one you want to, be interested in and do. It's just it's a crazy game. It's like it really feels like they just had like they had like 10 years worth of ideas for the genre. They just crammed it all into this game. It's really, really cool. I very much like this game.
Nice. I didn't have a lot of time to explore it myself, but like I was definitely very into the little bit that I played. So a little janky to get to run on PCs.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but like
I think the main downside to this game, I would say, is that I would say it's not like 100% tuned for survival in the sense that like it's a pretty easy game to get a 1cc in. And clearly it's like it's relying on you to really get like thick, very longevity stuff out of it. You want to be scoring, but then the scoring is very obtuse.
Okay.
It's a cool game though.
You said you recently revisited Stalker. I think you're a big Stalker head, right?
Yeah, just so I could talk about it. It's a bit of that writing situation. If you look at it, it looks like your average tactical hit shooter, and not like the best in terms of gunplay. But the thing that holds it together is what's called the A system, which basically is like it's like an AI type system where AI have roles and schedules, and they go about. But when they clash, if for example a rival faction clash with the rival faction, they start fighting, and maybe if there's an animal around it and it hears the fight, it will join, and it can get very chaotic.
That's kind of cool.
But
what the fuck?
It's also, and that's basically the basis of it. And what usually happens that you are walking towards the place, then you suddenly hear like gunfights, and then you hear like an anomaly go off, and then a guy just explodes all of a sudden because he ran into an anomaly and died. And And you also have situation when you are in a gunfight, in a like a script-ish gunfight where stuff that's supposed to happen, but suddenly there's a military guy that you happen to leave alive that joins the fight because it just happens. His AI pattern just happens to pass by. And that's the appeal of Stalker. The way the different AI types clash alongside the oh God, I'm explaining really badly.
No,
Basically,
it's okay.
Basically that's the appeal of Stalker. It's all the AI clash and the way they clash while you are in certain moments. I do think the like mods leverage it a bit because of their more I guess free roam nature. This game is still very much I guess narrative focused. The open world isn't really open. It's like Prey 2017 in that it opens as you progress. So you start in this small area and can go anywhere, but as you go to the other areas, more paths open for you to explore and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I do think out of all the games in here, Stalker is like the most unique of them all because of that season. There isn't any game like it out there.
Agree.
That's really cool. That's definitely one I want to try at least. I did buy it, but I didn't have time. Does anyone have like any final words on like maybe either of these two games? Maybe some kind of comparison. I don't know if that's even possible.
Those iconoclast games, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hellsinker has non-binary representation, so that's a big plus.
That's the yellow character.
Oh, let's go.
Sorry, Stalker, it's over.
All right. Time to vote.
Oh, that's how it starts. Damn.
Yeah, I wouldn't be displeased with either of these winning based on what I've heard.
I explained it rather badly, but it's a really cool system.
No, you did good.
That allows for a lot of emergent AI interactions.
I think you meant to say experiential.
No, it's a mechanic games. Trust me.
Okay.
There's like weight limit and with proper inventory management.
It's like Demon Souls, but it has the flood in it. Because in weight limit, Demon Souls is the first game with the weight limit, and
What weight limit? I just carried the ring.
Oh wait. That's 3 for Stalker, 2 for Hellsinker. Raph abstained.
Ryan's in the audience. He's not voting.
Yeah,
Evan isn't here.
Evan and wait, who else didn't vote yet?
Well, Kinkubot.
Kinkubot would not survive in Stalker. Kinkubot would die. They would eat Kinkubot.
I think Stalker gets the nod.
I think Evan said he was AFK anyway. So
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah. Like he's abstaining, I think, except for Super Mario Galaxy.
Damn. All right, then Stalker.
Then with my shitty explanation, then.
I mean, part of me wants to like I think seeing Hellsing because it's such an obscure game, I think that would be kind of cool. But I think we did give it like a good amount of time. So okay. Okay, this is another Hot Pocket special. Again, at least like one half of the occasion. Monster Hunter Freedom 2. Obviously, so in Japan, Portable Seconds. And then they did Portable Seconds G. It's just an expanded version of that game. That's why we counted it as a 2007 release. You probably know this more as Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, which is, blah. It's like just a slightly better version of the game. But yeah, Hot Pocket, take it away.
This game is the shittiest 10 out of 10 I've ever made. I've frequently said. It's like insanely flawed in so many stupid fucking ways as a result of imperfectly splitting the difference between sort of the more modern style that would come after it of like highly streamlined, just hunt, and the like more sort of resource gathering play style of like Monster Hunter 1 and 2. It doesn't matter. This game has hilariously good combat. Every other action game with boss fights is embarrassed by this game. It basically translates sort of dangerous AI style of like that I think the best like beat 'em ups use, but to like one-on-one boss fights. The hit zone system where every part of the monster has a different sort of damage it takes makes your offensive positioning really important. You have super limited iframes, but they are still there, so you're constantly having to evaluate, what angle to dodge and what timing, and it's always dynamic because of that, because there's so much nuance to it. The AI, like the monster design is really good. Usually, most of the monsters they put the most like lucrative place to stand in the most dangerous places. The stagger system is one of the best, I think, for this type of thing, where you get it's tracked per part, and you get a stagger basically every couple hits, so you can like keep that in mind and use that to offensively interrupt monsters attacking to like. And you can do that. You can like set up big hits that take a real long time. If you have the positioning and prediction, it's just hilariously good. There have been so many games I've played this year where I'm just like, wow, I wish I was playing Monster Hunter.
I guess one last question I'll ask before we move to Pokemon. How much do you feel of this game is retained by later Monster Hunter games, even like classic Monster Hunter games before the series changed with World?
It got a lot. Well, for you is fucked up, but in sort of different ways. In this, the sort of key characteristic of this game is the AI is pretty predictable usually, and very sort of straightforward. A lot of insta charges where they'll just sort of look at you and then go, but it's something you can like figure out when it's going to happen. In general, the AI is a lot more manipulatable and controllable in this, but it's still a very punishing game, especially on certain monsters like Tigrex. I think that, especially the thing where every monster kind of pivots in place, that's something they really tried to move away from after this game.
Yeah.
But I think actually it works really well in this game because it's such a natural way to use the stagger system as a sort of something that it's an opening that you don't normally get to take advantage of with most weapons, but if you are keeping track of the stagger, then that's like an option of a time to get the hit and get the stagger, which is an opening is only viable if you're using that mechanic.
Cool. Yeah, the spinning in place, that's something even I kind of noticed, like that felt unique about this one. Okay, Pokemon. Who wants to start with this game? I don't fucking know, like who are this game's fans?
Yeah,
it's a game can change someone's life.
Truly. I think this is a lot of people's awakening to
to
the
HRT.
value of
Yes.
HRT, to furries. I think it's. I don't know. I mean, I think Luna was on point with this with her review that it's a beautifully written game that's super charming and thoughtful in its execution of its narrative, where every single scene feels like very carefully considered in terms of all the characters having very distinct personalities, very distinct ways they carry themselves, very distinct voices. It's tightly paced narrative. It's the meme. It's this super cheery, upbeat title. I think if you play it, you're just instantly in love with it. It just instantly just carries you away. I know John was watching me play. He was like freaking out when he saw Chimchar. Like, oh my god, Chimchar. He's the most jaded person here.
No, Ace Combat Zero is his Pokemon, Mr. Dungeon Explorer.
True.
I'll say that kind of surprises me.
Yeah. The big issue though is that mechanically, right? It's this roguelike Pokemon game. It doesn't really capture the good elements of roguelikes, like the sort of systemic chaos. It doesn't capture the tactical depth of a Pokemon game.
It's a monster house.
It's a game where you hit people and they die.
This feels like a
it's
pattern.
honestly-
Yeah, the like. I feel like every game we talk about is like this story. This is the best story I've read since fucking Das Kapital, and but actually the mechanics are bad. So, damn.
I will defend that they are not as bad as I thought they were. Like it's going back to it now. It's a lot faster than it's a lot leaner than I remember. You can actually get through it very quickly.
That's good. For viewers, I put Explorers of X because there's two versions of this game, sort of like the mainline Pokemon games. It's like Time and Darkness, I think. So yeah.
Time and Sky are the two next to each other.
Okay, thank you.
Or wait, no, I'm dumb. Sorry.
Is it 3 games?
Yeah, I think it did the whole like there's two, and then they did the remade Time as Sky.
Dude, they went so crazy. Yeah. Okay,
It's the whole Diamond, Pearl, Platinum thing.
We got 2 for Freedom, 2 for PMD.
3 for PMD.
Oh no, I was just listing the titles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
3 for Freedom.
Come on, Raph, what are you voting?
I feel like we need a Monster Hunter up here, but I don't know if I want Freedom Unite up here. That's a shame.
That's the last one. That's the last
He's
one.
the only one left, so.
Wait, when did Try come out?
2009.
And that didn't get in. Damn, that didn't make the bracket. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I probably should have voted for that actually. But yeah.
I don't think Try got in because everybody was like, "There's 3 other Monster Hunter games in the rest of the years," or whatever.
I think 4 votes is enough now to win, right? So yeah, Freedom takes it. Cool.
Thank fucking God.
Wow.
Oh, we have one more
We're-
pack. I will be
the
voting
Gl-
for Etrian.
The Glock was on your desk, right? Like.
I could feel Alice Buck.
I actually have played. When we get to that, I have played about like 4 or 5 hours of Etrian preparation for this.
Ooh. Okay, I'm actually curious to hear your take in a sec. Nice. So it's Crackdown versus Pac-Man C. I think this is like a me matchup. I don't know if Evan is like still. I think he's not listening. Yeah, Crackdown. I need to replay it. Honestly, I don't know if I'm sort of tripped up with how good it is in my mind. I just like the simplicity of it. That it's not really like the Hitman games, but it's sort of a similar premise, right? That okay, you take out a series of targets, right? But the genius thing to do is they just make the targets just regular ass like enemies in the world that they move around a small perimeter that they control. You can approach them anytime from any angle, however which way you want, and the way that gels with the traversal and with the level design, it's a very intentionally designed open world. And it has a little bit of rigidity in its controls and like the way its systems interact, but the systems do interact, and it is really cool in that way, especially as an early example of that style. I feel like other similar games, maybe Ubisoft games, shit like that, they never really matched it in that way, in my opinion. I can't think of another game that really quite gives me that same edge, and it's really sick. Do we have any like maybe Crackdown haters that like want to shit on it?
It's a little easy to. I mean, it's a. There are a couple of areas where like there's no single player missions. Like the whole game is the game part of the game, and you're like going around the islands and fighting the different targets. There is like kind of a difficulty curve, so though like you can actually sneak into some of like the later areas and grab like there's like an LMG and a rocket launcher that will like lock onto enemies and track them, and those are like kind of like, if you get that and like the cluster grenade, you've kind of gotten all the best weapons. So it's like slightly easy to break, but I think it's more like what you see is what you get. And if you vibe with it, you fuck with it, and I would say it's like it doesn't really have like the movement's good, but it doesn't have like Mario 64 like application of that movement in the same way.
Yep. Yeah. Ref, did you have like a take there?
Well, I think it's a cool ass game. I think it maybe doesn't look as good compared to like Arcane's output. I think that's sort of the niche of the game is.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah. I feel like it's
still a great game.
Yeah, I feel like definitely the way it differentiates itself there is like the setting, I guess, right, and the specific context of the mechanics, right. I think the fact that it is an open world city sandbox is really cool and unique. But you are right. I think there's probably more depth to something like Dishonored, which does scratch the similarities. Yeah. Yeah, Pac-Man CE. I like this game a lot. Heather made a great video on it. I forgot to show actually the box art. I am sort of frustrated with the randomness of the AI coupled with the timer. Like literally, right at the start of the game, you can have a situation where one of the ghosts will literally either go left or go right, and one of those directions is like just objectively better for your routing, right? And for scoring. And once I realized that, that just pissed me off to no end. I was like, well, what even is the point, right?
So it's roguelite pilled.
So true. Yeah, that's why I think there's a lot of merit to this game's design. But I personally never really wanted to master it, and had a lot of sort of sequels and updates that go in very different directions. I'm not sure what sort of my preferences. I do respect this game a lot. Maybe Raph, do you have like a take on it? I know we've talked about it a little bit in the past.
Same take, really. Like I don't really care for it as a score game. I'm a hater.
Well, it also like it doesn't have, it has a bunch of supplemental modes, but there's no like classic infinite mode or anything like that. It's like they all like give you like weird layouts with the same basic. I think like the timers are slightly like longer, but it does feel like kind of a missing piece. Like I think it feels like, I don't know, like more niche than it needs to be.
Yeah, it feels like the timer was really the main hook of it, and yet I'm just not that convinced by that hook, right? I feel like there needed to be something a little bit more. Obviously DX I think is pretty controversial as a sequel, and I think that game probably is flawed, but I think the extra predictability of that game with the AI, in my opinion, sorta had me more charitable toward it. But yeah, I don't know. I personally probably give it to Crackdown. Yeah. Where's Crackdown? Yeah. Does anyone have any final words they want to say on either game? Like this is such a weird. I think this is not the right matchup for this panel.
Yeah, Miss Pac-Man though, am I right, guys?
So true. Yeah. Get it. Okay. Now that we've established progressive ideology in the server, I think we can vote. Correct on social commentary is interesting. I don't remember any of it.
It's literally like the last cutscene of the game.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah, that's the entirety of it.
Abstain, yeah. Really controversial matchup here.
Actually, wait. See, I already started drawing because I don't know why I did that. Does anyone else want to vote? Let's crack down and Cracktown. Okay, you know what I think? Yeah, this is dire.
I'm so sorry.
Crackdown is gonna make top 4 and nobody's gonna give a shit.
Yeah. Can we all like simultaneously apologize to Heather? Like I think she's lost the most.
Dude, literally.
Yeah, I think
yeah, true. Heather and Luke, they decided to start dating like at the wrong time. I mean, not that those two dating each other, but like you know what I mean. Just like be with us, nerds. Yeah, fucking video games. It's so cool. Okay.
They started spending time on other things. It's forbidden.
Exactly.
They should not.
They're trying to enrich their lives instead of degenerate like us.
I
get
come
it.
back and what the fuck? This is beating Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Either both. It's just Crackdown.
Dude, the thing
What
was
is
like,
going on?
I like nobody gave a shit about this matchup at all, and like I had to like just like I had to like just fumble through it. It was very very sad.
But it's like game you play on your phone versus game you got to play Halo 3 beta.
So true. So okay, it's Team Fortress 2 versus Mario Galaxy. Both sort of legendary games, I guess, in their own specific niches. I haven't really played Team Fortress 2. I think Sugar, you're a big fan, right?
Yeah, I still play it pretty much every other day. Like,
yeah.
I go on fucking forever about individual classes for hours on end. It's absurd how much care went into designing them. Like, it's still the benchmark for making a class-based shooter, and every time somebody tries to do better, they just don't. It's fucking sad. But also, TF2 is just so legendary. Aside from like gameplay too, like presentation-wise, like people who don't even play TF2 know exactly what it is. People who don't play TF2 or know even anything about the characters are referencing shit the characters say.
Everybody knows the Shrek video.
No, that's not related to that. That's Left 4 Dead.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's the same fucking developer. I guess it's the basic thing. All right. I'll say I feel like I know a billion people like that who feel that exact way with TF2. Which is like that's definitely a testament kind of to its place in the canon.
I played it for many hours.
Ooh.
It's been a while since I played it. I played it for like, at least 500 hours.
Damn.
I think in retrospect, it is by far the best fusion of the casual unquote class-based structure with the old arena shooter fundamentals. Ammo and health are actually very impactful and on most classes, and you have to like do that thing where you're sort of managing your positioning for like pickups around the map. That is very classic arena shooter. The movement, super classic arena shooter. Rocket jumping. The movement in general is really nuanced for a lot of classes. Like battles, like the scout rocket jump obviously is super iconic, but even the soldier rocket jump, but even just the scout like double jump frequently leads to super engaging fights. I think the main issue with this, air strafing, of course, that's like a classic source engine slash old PC
Quake
game thing. Yeah, the Quake derived games. I think the main issue I would say with this game is that updates send it totally off the rails. Some updates made it a lot better, but some updates made it totally off the rails. But you can sort of pick and choose some of that stuff. I don't know. I still think it's a very
They
very, very
dialed
good game.
back a lot of the more batshit stuff. Like, if you remember when Soda Popper used to just give you fucking crits, shoutouts to that, by the way. They completely undid that. They were like, wait a minute, that might be a problem. I don't know. There's very few weapons that replace stock weapons too, which is another important aspect.
They did pretty good with that. There's some stuff, but like generally, you can still use stock, and that's good.
So Pang is not here to defend Super Mario Galaxy's honor.
I am.
And I think
I'm here.
Oh, Evan, like, okay, I wasn't sure if you're.
I fucking love this game. I don't care if it's the vibes. This game fucking slaps. This game blew my damn mind as a little 14-year-old or now 15-year-old. Yeah, I mean, okay. Even if we're ignoring, the really sick vibes, because seriously, this game's got some really fucking good vibes. Even if we're ignoring that, the levels in Galaxy 2, like, they just keep fucking changing things. They keep adding new ideas. Like, you can say, oh, a lot of them are surface level, they're shallow stuff, but I dare you to find another 3D platformer that has nearly as many ideas as, like, the Galaxy games did. Regardless of, how much depth each individual one has. But some of them are really good. Some of them are fleshed out, and they do get full levels that, expand upon them. And yeah, I mean, like, the whole gravity thing is handled really well, and there's some really cool little bits that take advantage of it. I wish there was a little more that they did with the gravity, but sometimes you get to, jump around like really small planetoids, doing, launch ups and stuff. And it's pretty fun to just speed around through. Like the controls aren't the controls and mechanics aren't on Super Mario 64's level, but there's still a lot of fun to be had with them, partially because the level design is so good. Like I usually don't feel like unless I'm on a piece of flat terrain, I don't feel like I'm missing the mechanics of Mario 64 when I'm playing Galaxy. Like Galaxy's controls do feel appropriate for the levels that it has. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a fantastic 3D platformer. Maybe not in a purely mechanical sense, but I mean, hey, a lot of us love various 3D platformers for the vibes, and I can't think of another 3D platformer with better vibes.
It is a really memorable and creative game. Like, I definitely applaud it for taking so many swings. I've personally cooled off on it over the years, and I've shared this take recently a couple times, but I need to try Galaxy 2 again because I feel like just the fact that it moves a little bit faster, that it's a little more distilled, tighter, right? I feel like that probably aids the spectacle focus more. Because when I revisited Galaxy 1 a couple weeks ago, it felt a little slow to me. Like, not even just like mechanically or like movement wise. I mean, just like in terms of the progression, how the levels are kind of structured. It felt a little bit
Yeah. I mean,
methodical.
there's too many transitions that take too long.
Yeah.
It's definitely a game that would have used some speeding up.
Yeah, I feel like Galaxy 2 probably is that, and I'm very curious about that. Rest of that's called pacing. You better vote for Galaxy now, Raph. Okay, wait, I think I said, yeah. TF2.
Bad for Galaxy's. This isn't even really an indictment on Galaxy's quality so much as just like a fucked up matchup.
The problem is it's
Yeah,
not
I
that
mean,
Galaxy's
Team
even
Fortress 2 is a really
remotely-
hard matchup for any game, really.
Yeah.
It's not even that Galaxy's bad. It's just TF2 is like a fucking colossus. Like, what did he?
I'm curious about the Valve matchup in a sec. It's like so
It's TF2.
Yeah.
So it's so over.
So our most voted game for this entire bracket was Halo 3. I feel like yeah, Halo 3 is a great game. I do sort of feel like maybe it was sort of like a take for granted pick. I know I certainly I voted for it and I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, it's not my favorite Halo, but like it's definitely one of the best games, like my favorite games of this year. Yeah, I don't know, it's very odd. I guess Hot Pocket, like, I'm curious, like, I feel like whenever I ask people for their Halo takes, it's like everybody kind of has different feelings on like each individual entry.
Issa can slander Halo 3 later, but I think it's I don't know, it's I think it's about equal with Halo 1 actually for me. I think Halo 1 has a lot better, not a lot better, but more better core mechanics of like the weapon balancing and sort of the role of the weapons. But this has much better level design, I think. And this it's a very set piece driven game, I think, in a way that is it does a lot more to like keep things varied than Halo 1. Halo 1 is basically just relying on the dynamism of the AI to like kind of carry it through, whereas this puts you in a lot of sort of weird situations. Like I remember me and John were playing in co-op a while ago, and it was unreal. Just like it's just rapid fire, like cool situation after cool situation after cool situation. Like you're I don't know, like what is it? I think it's the Storm, where you're like you like you kind of go through the tunnels and you get in a ghost and you do some vehicle combat for a while. And then you have to take down the Scarab, and then you're like go through the tunnels to hunt these brutes. Man, what a cool level! Or I don't know. I feel like the whole game is just like that, where there's just tons of cool set pieces that really carry the game for me. I think it doesn't have I don't think it is like the pinnacle of what Halo could be in terms of that level design, but I think it's the best they've done pretty much. Like it's by far the most consistent Halo. Like, not even remotely close. Also, the multiplayer is legendary.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, honestly. This is a great game. It used to be, like, probably my favorite Halo, but, like, it sort of switched for me over time to see...
Also, the
the little deployable things are underrated. They're a good mechanic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Issa will give you some time to like maybe talk about Halo 3 and also compare it to Stalker, maybe, if that's possible.
I don't know how to compare, but yeah, I think Halo 3 is like Pocket said, it's like the most consistent campaign, but I don't think it has like really high heights. It's like it's a good campaign, but there isn't like that one level everyone talks about, like Silent Cartographer or I guess Tartary Platinum is these levels like that are really memorable. I still like the combat loop. It's more range oriented than I guess stat oriented. Like one, like for example, in one you will pick weapons based on the enemy you are fighting. In three, I feel like it's more okay. The enemy's all the way over there. I'm gonna pick a sniper or another long range weapon. Or the enemy is a close quarter combat. Gonna fight the hammer or the SMG. Stuff like that. I don't think it's a good sandbox. I just don't think it's as good as Halo One's. I also legitimately think Stalker Sandbox is more interesting, even if it's for different reasons.
BR was a mistake. I guess Stalker is more similar to CE because infighting.
Yeah,
maybe,
sure.
maybe there's a thing there, right?
Yeah. Let's go with that. Isn't true.
What Raph said in chat is so true.
It's a bit of a weird combat because the Stalker's sandbox has more to do with emergency situations that are of control of the player. It's just like how the AI is walking around reacting. How is going from one area to the one you are in. It's something that is out of the player control, the chaos. While Halo 3 is all more about the combat balance, the level design, stuff that the player has more control over. So it's like apples and oranges.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to talk about Halo 3?
I was thinking about this in retrospect, but I appreciate that they kept the flood in, because as controversial and as bad an enemy as they are, it's like I think it gives Halo 3 like part of the problem with like the rest of Halo games is like Halo 3 is such a great capstone. You know, doesn't hit the same peaks as some of the other games as others have said, but I think it just feels very like conclusive.
The Flood and 3 are a lot improved. They're much better than the Flood and 1. They have like different, like the combat form stuff is a lot more fleshed out.
Right.
In 1 they're bad.
In one they're basically just pinkies.
Yeah, they're way more annoying than pinkies.
Yeah, they're bad pinkies. Yeah, I'll give Halo 3 that they will improve the Flood with more enemy types, which made their sections way more bearable. And I think what's the name, Cortana it's a really good level as well. But I always heard people hating on it.
Yeah, I guess the general sense I have is that I do applaud Bungie for like always, like I know people have some disagreements with Reach especially, but like it feels like they always try to kind of push the envelope and like legitimately try to think, okay, well, how can we improve the series even further? Yeah, that's very cool to me. Yeah. Halo try. Halo 3.
Oh, this is rough.
I'm gonna abstain because I could see myself going either way if I'd played both of those games.
2 for Halo, 2 for Stalker, 3 for Halo.
Revenge.
I think this is it, right?
This top bit are like stacked. This top 3 games, 1, 8, and 9.
There we go. Okay, this one's interesting. EO versus Monster Hunter. Yeah, Buck, I'm curious about your take on it, because you just said you played Etrian for the first time recently for this.
I'm gonna make Alan mad. That's my goal here. I played it. I played Blood and Girl a real long time ago. I only played some of it. I played some of. I played some of the new version of 1, the new port.
Yeah.
Which has the basic difficulty, which is what I played on. It's only a little bit easier than the original. I picked up the changes.
I think it's a pretty interesting game. It's very, the map thing is like a very sort of key aspect of the game. I don't know. It is actually like a atmosphere vibes game. How do I describe this? None of the mechanics themselves individually are actually that interesting in my opinion, or like deep, but it's all kind of comes together to like produce a feeling in you of like exploration and kind of like tension and things like that. I think in that sense it's a pretty cool game. And I do think there is some self-awareness of that with it almost. I think my problem with it is if I were to, I almost think like 3D dungeon crawlers like Thief, Deus Ex, etc. actually do that kind of better because the 3D mechanics are such a better way to create immersion for me.
I totally get that. I do think this is, I agree with you, this game is very good at getting you in the zone, and I don't want to overrate the sort of the form factor of the game, right? But that kind of was always like an almost inextricable part for me, right? That like I'm playing on DS, I'm like in my little chair, and like, oh, it's like the little light is on in the corner, and like I have a little blanket, maybe a cup of cocoa. Like it's just that kind of game. I think Raph, you have a lot of experience with the series. I'm kind of curious. Okay, how do you feel? Does it evolve over time? And like, does Etrian 1 specifically? Like, is Etrian 1 specifically mostly vibes? And does that change over the course of the series? Does it become more mechanically sort of, like legitimate, I guess?
I mean, yeah, Etrian Odyssey 1 is notorious for the way it implements the mystery at the core of the game, and how it sort of slowly builds up to it before revealing what's actually happening. Over time, this series gets much more creative with its class design. It gets much more complex in its boss design, much more complex in its dungeon design. It's while also taking more risks with the presentation in terms of what the dungeons actually are. Personally, I much prefer 3 and 5 and even 4 over this. I think mechanically, they're also later games in the series are also much faster on top of being more mechanically complex, much more mechanically involved. So, yeah. Sorry, Alan.
I guess sort of maybe it's juxtaposed with Freedom 2 in this matchup, right? And I guess sort of an interesting comparison between, okay, this is the inception point of its style. Well, not its style, because like obviously there was games like this, like fucking Wizardry and shit. But like that unique combination of elements that clearly caught on and like captured many people. And it deserves respect for that. But it is still an inception point, right? And there's like, I mean, clearly, as was proved by the sequels, there was room for growth. Whereas Freedom 2 is like the unique highlight, and something that was never really replicated. So I guess maybe that speaks for Monster Hunter.
Yeah. I'll also say that Poke Village also has a lot of vibes.
I agree. I was actually about to say I do think Freedom Unite and Freedom 2 are also do benefit a lot. Even as they're hurt, they're also benefit for being this weird crossroads of sort of the styles of Monster Hunter, where they actually do get a lot of atmosphere and character from that old style that it's basically pulling from DOS. Of the aesthetics of the maps, even of this cadence of gameplay, even when it's frustrating, it does have that old school flavor. I think that really adds a lot, even compared to like Try immediately after.
It also has a very naturalistic color palette compared to the later games in the series. They went for a more vibrant look.
They need to make the iPhone version of Freedom Unite playable again, because that's clearly the best version. It has it has the target cam.
I think it has proper servers as well.
Also, can I just say the Capcom here, like on the box art, on this like circular cutout thing, like that goes so hard. That's such a good choice.
Won you over, John?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I can't just squash out this enthusiasm. I don't have it in me.
Okay. We were everyone when you were playing for 2. We were literally all telling you don't do the thing you're doing, and then you did it.
Yeah, I tried like many times.
Oh boy.
And I'll also vouch for like whenever something gets from like the bottom of the bracket, it's like yeah, we gotta push that to the front.
Okay. Next game we need to give a little shine to is The World Ends With You. I think that's a pretty highly voted game as well. I think we've had like discussions in private with this one that like a lot of other games here, very unique, very very standout, very memorable. But a little critically flawed in some areas. Does anyone have like strong feelings about it? Does anyone maybe do you want to spill your guts on this game a little bit? Anyone?
I haven't played it since my teen years, but it's one of those games that every time I think about it, it gets worse. Because it has a very unique gameplay style, a really cool stylish art style, but also it's more unique than it is well designed, I'll say.
That's really true.
Damn.
The dual screen gimmick is interesting in theory, but you can just like spam most of the combats. Like the final boss is the only one that makes you actually engage with the system it offers.
Yeah, I think
and I think that is my problem. I was just gonna say I think that is my problem, that it isn't well balanced, so it doesn't take good advantage of its unique systems.
Yeah, I think the juggling system and sort of how that feels on a touchscreen, that's the part that probably has the most merit. And the 2-screen idea is a brilliant fucking idea, right? But it doesn't actually work because literally everybody who's played this game will tell you, yeah, it's more effective to just fucking mash the D-pad, and that's sort of when that's like literally the central pillar of the game. That feels like a massive indictment against it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to start on such a negative note, right? I know this is like a very beloved game, but like I do think it's needs to be addressed, right? It's not just a skill issue. It's like I remember my experience with it. I was trying to like take the mechanics seriously and like to learn it until I realized like no, this is not actually worth it, and it's not how you're supposed to play it. You're supposed to mash, right? And that is very disappointing, but I still really liked it when I finished it.
I do think it's like the prime example of a Square Enix game where the presentation and like game feel is top notch, but the actual mechanics fall a bit short.
A hard mode would fix this game.
Yeah, Raph, where's the hard
Where's
mode?
the mod?
Where's the mod?
Give me a couple years. I will say, like, you gotta think of The World Ends With You in the same vein as Okami, like this very easy adventure game.
That's a hard sell.
This game is gorgeous. It has an amazing soundtrack. It's a rare example of a very thematically cohesive game. How like the setting and the concept of style plays into the mechanics, the concept of coming out of your shell and growing up as a teenager. I think it captures that vibe, that sort of era very well.
I do agree with that. I think oh my god, JRPG in Tokyo in the modern day, what? Like now that seems quaint, right? But like that's the thing every review at the time focused on, from what I remember, right?
But Yakuza exists.
Yeah.
But nobody gave a shit back then.
It wasn't in the zeitgeist, yeah.
I will say this game is very...
There you go on.
Oh, sorry. I'll say this game is very specific in how it like tries to capture Shibuya in particular, in that sort of counterculture and how that plays into its mechanics. I think it's very smart. I think it's better Persona 3 because it's actually not 70 hours long, and it's also it's more focused on what it's trying to accomplish.
I actually really agree with that. I'll say I think when you look at this graphic, right, this box art, you might like think, oh, this looks cool, but like it looks like other things I might have seen before. But then when you actually play the game and see the presentation, they took way more swings with it than you might think at first, right? Just the crooked architecture and the like insane camera angles, and then just the sprite art is like to such a high standard. They definitely didn't do just the obvious shit with this game.
Oh, also, I'll say like the dialogue boxes are weirdly high energy due to the way the art style works with the art edges and the expressive portraits.
Yeah, I remember the localization being really good as well. Yeah.
It's it does a lot with little, right? It's just VN sprites, but the way everything's shaped, the way it's like Ace Attorney, right? It's doing a lot with little. It's also way better than Crackdown. I swear to God, please let's not vote Crackdown.
Is it better than Crackdown? I mean, mechanically.
No. Yeah. I would. I think a big issue with Crackdown is how much of it is like I'm gonna crouch down in a corner and take pot shots.
Damn, you suck. Get the cluster grenades, bro.
Literally.
Yeah,
that's probably skill.
It's either that
Can't
or
remember,
just
but
minus. It like mindlessly mashing the fire button. I think in terms of just if I want to play like a mindless game, I think Twelly is more intrinsically satisfying in terms of.
It has themes.
If you think about Crackdown, it's also about teen angst.
Actually, it's about colonialism and interventionism.
I don't know how this one's gonna shake out. This is very. See, I forgot it was up against Crackdown until like I scrolled over. I feel like Tweewee should win because it, as flawed as it is, it's still grasping at something really cool.
No.
It probably should, but my memories of it had me hating more on the game, so I vote Crackdown even though I never played it.
I'm
a big Crackdown stan. I mean, y'all know, but yeah.
Oh, fuck it. Please, I'm begging you, over Crackdown. We got freedom up there.
Crackdown.
Sorry.
Crackdown is just watered down Crisis.
That's so cap, probably. I'll play Crisis right now and find out.
Everyone says Crisis 1 is really fun, actually.
I thought it was like Crisis Warhead.
I do want to play
the expansion that was really.
I think they said that too.
It's really fun, but I think in terms of sandboxy games, Far Cry 2 and Stalker are way better.
Crisis was also 2007. That's kind of curious that like nobody voted for. Okay, alright, I get it. See. What the fuck is happening?
They're all gone. It's over.
Oh no.
It's over.
Okay, guys, wrap it up. It's been nice, but
oh my god, it might actually be real. Wait. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Been so fun.
Does anyone
literally had no games?
Does anyone else want to vote? Does anyone want to cause a tie, or do we let the world ends with you take it?
Tweewee is peaky.
I love Gigaboots.
Bro, I love. God, see the reason Twelly is so good is because it doesn't have Western boss fights. All right.
What does this mean?
Like cowboys and shit, or what?
It means we're on Twitter too much. Okay, fuck it. We'll give it to Tweewee. Damn. I lost.
Crackdown has too many Western boss fights. It just spawns ads and ads and ads, and like the
That's
actual guy
we're not design. Beat him up design, bro. Come on.
I mean, Tweenie has JRPG bosses, so I don't know if it's any better.
So it's Portal versus TF2. Obviously, Portal was the biggest deal in the entire world when it came out, to the point that I think people got really tired of it. It's a cool little game. It's a very creative concept, and I mean, like the cake being a lie. You know, the cake was a lie. The cake really was a lie. You know, like it was a cute little thing they put in the game, right? Can we really blame Valve and like the writers and whatever?
No, okay.
This game is like with Portal 2 as a comparison, it sort of illuminates how not fucked up this game's writing is.
Are you like a big like Portal 2 hater with the writing?
Yeah. So that's I don't know. Portal 2, the co-op campaign's fun. That's my opinion on
That's
Portal
what
2.
everybody says. Yeah, I've never played it, unfortunately. I don't really remember 2 in general that well. Yeah.
It's too streamlined. It's one of those. It actually does the yellow UI with its like stage design where there's all the areas you can't portal, and there are the like few portable
The
surfaces.
OG yellow paint game.
I think Matthew Matosis, I mean, people sort of have varying opinions on his early videos, but he was very on point with that, I think. Yeah. But I mean, as far as Portal 1 goes, maybe Issa, do you have like a take on it?
Yeah, I really like Portal 1. Is probably my favorite out of the Orange Box, but also I'm a known Valve hater. I only like Half-Life 1 and Portal. Yeah, it's a cute little game. The actual mechanic and the way it works feels very like loose and very systemic. Although I'll say that
movement, yeah.
Although I'll say the puzzles don't take as advantage of that as they could, even though they are more open that they seem at first. But there's also like some puzzles that have portals that deactivate your portal gun, and certain portals where the solution is very obvious and linear. But I do like that. Yeah, it has a good pacing. The concept is really neat. I do wish it was one of those games that got ripped up more, because I think the Portal Gun gimmick has a lot of potential that I don't think the first game realized it fully. And for what I remember, Portal 2 it was worse than 1 in that respect. But I do like it a lot. It's very brief to our experience.
Yeah.
Doesn't overstay its welcome. The writing is very good as well, despite all of the being memed to death. But yeah, cool little game.
I think it definitely, I guess probably at the time, a lot of it was kind of carried by like the spectacle of the concept, right? Where there was not many games that really had that kind of dimensionality to them, where you was like, whoa, I can do that, what? And like where you have to think about the space in that kind of way.
There was like
there was Prey.
Like
I was about to say, yeah, it was Prey, yeah.
But it was very rigid and more done as a set piece rather than a full-on mechanic.
Yeah. And I guess like with these types of puzzle games, it's yeah, if you sort of sit on them for a couple of years and then play them again, I think they can still kind of stay fresh. But obviously it's not what like most of us consider traditionally mechanically appealing, right? It does have a limited shelf life, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's a problem like puzzle games that have, I guess, more loose systemic mechanics. It's really hard to balance like how broken that mechanic can be and how interesting puzzles can be like the first time around. So I think Portal does a decent job at it, but like I said, I wish more games iterated on the concept.
Yeah, I wonder how much more you could have done by like not strictly just focusing on puzzles, right? I feel like you could do stuff with this mechanic that's more reflex based, action based, maybe not even combat based, but like you could have had platforming challenges or something, right? And I mean the game does experiment with that a little bit, but it is a little, I don't want to say safe, but like yeah.
I think Mirror's Edge wanted a portal gun so bad.
That damn. Wow. I could see that. I think this game's influence is actually not even this. Well, I don't know what's influence, but I think the thing that even stands out to me is almost how it is the most like Half-Life 1 game Valve has actually made.
I will agree with that.
The way the atmosphere of kind of like going through this facility is basically I think it really takes advantage of the medium and the way that like the way that Half-Life 1 does pretty much, where you have this sort of, this pristine facility with the sort of falling apart at the seams underbelly that is almost a parallel of the actual gamey environment structure in general or whatever.
Yes.
I think that aged really well. I think that and it like reads as a very sort of streamlined, ends when it needs to holistic type of game.
Totally, and I guess it's something you can't really repeat, right? And that's why maybe part of why 2 kind of
fucking
falls
gave
flat.
up and did dumb shit in 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's probably not gonna make it against TF2, but like I think we gave it like a fair assessment.
Better, unfortunately. Portal's pretty good though.
I should have hated on TF2 instead.
I think that's enough for TF2. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, like Portals, I prefer 1 over 2 personally, but like it's most people don't. Like that's more of a like if you've played 1,000 games and you're gonna like Portal 1 more or whatever the fuck. Like I don't know. You know what I mean?
It's true, yeah.
For me, it's more like if you're gonna play Portal 2, you should just play like the mods of it. There's like the main campaign, you're like getting all the downsides and
like
upsides.
taking out pocket example, if Portal 2 is like Half-Life 1, Portal 1 is like Half-Life 1, Portal 2 is Half-Life 2.
I think I would give it less credit than Half-Life 2.
I should add to Portal 2's co-op campaign is genuinely like top 3 co-op campaigns, period. Like it is amazing.
I forgot to address for the 2004 episode. I made a mental note and then I didn't actually. Totally forgot about it. I wanted to mention that literally not a single person voted for Half-Life 2 in this entire server.
Which good server.
Yeah.
Which I thought was sort of fascinating.
Like I think it was to Yuzi that I said it's one of the most influential games ever, but it's also one of the most boring games ever. It's like transparent with theme park design. Very simple puzzles. They use like one mechanic.
The thing is,
very long walking section.
I was really cold on it when I first played it, especially in comparison to Half-Life 1, which I liked a lot. But
I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah, John.
I was gonna say, like, I can't remember like how true this is, but I always remember it was like there was like the leaked design document of Half-Life 2, which was way weirder, where like there would be like an arcade where people would like operate the manhacks and they wouldn't realize they're actually like doing evil shit. And there was all this just I like some of the weird concepts that skewed more to like Half-Life 1's tone. And then there was like that leak and they had to like scramble to remake it. I don't know if that is true or just like urban legend, like Sasquatch shit. But I like
yeah, I mean, I think the part of the leak is, I mean, the leak that, I mean, we know the leak happened, right? But like, how much they remade, that's definitely up for debate. Yeah.
Yeah, they had to remake a lot of stuff, but I think people over exaggerate how much they remade.
That doesn't matter. Literally, it's the AI of the Combine is bad and it fucks up everything.
It's literally that
one guy who made the video.
Yeah, no, it's that, and if that was better, the game would be vastly improved.
Yeah, not only that, but like the levels don't benefit the AI at all.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about this game that's not even on the.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it like last episode, and then literally the game is so forgettable that I forgot it. Which is sad.
Anyways,
you can edit this in.
Just use the Scepter Slap and play Raven Home, and then say you finish up.
I guess there's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it is like I feel like maybe it's overhated. Like I personally didn't like it, right? But like I'm starting to suspect maybe I should revisit my like.
If anything, is overpraised.
Maybe we don't
like about it.
Yeah, we haven't hated it enough. Spend an extra 6 minutes.
Let's do a bonus Half-Life 2 review.
Do we want to compare Halo 3 and Freedom 2? Like, what's the Jimmy there?
How Scarabs compared to Giraffalos or whatever?
Scarabs?
Giraffalos.
Giraffalos is more dynamic than Scarab. Scarab has more ways to beat him though.
Yeah, I'll say like the L3 combat sandbox is good, but the combat design in Freedom 2 is just so good. Like the best type of I guess predictive gameplay where you have to always be one step ahead of the monster, but to how predictable they are, you can always have some certainty of your actions. and combined with the complex target system, the varied movesets of the varied monsters, it's just hard to beat. Best boss fights in any game.
Yeah, I would agree. I've written many words on this. Anyone have any defense of 3? The multiplayer is very good in 3. I will give it up.
Maps suck though. They're like a big step back from 2. So let's
Really?
just pretend Halo 3 doesn't exist.
Wow, I can't believe we.
Do you think so?
We killed Stalker for all
I mean,
of
I wouldn't be opposed to that as a opinion necessarily. I like Guardian.
The level sounds pretty good, pretty vertical, more like a classic shooter in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Arbiter is a cool dude, I guess.
Yeah, I think we all ran out of juice. I don't know. I think at this point, if you're a Mon head, you're gonna vote Monster Hunter, and if you're not, you're gonna vote Halo.
Okay, let's see it. And it's top 4 already, so like.
Yeah, it doesn't. Everyone's.
I think Freedom 2.
What server is this from? Or I don't. You have to tell me that, but like, this should be on this server. Actually, I can't even use it because I don't fucking pay Discord money. Fuck that.
Yeah, same.
Discord. Does anyone else want to get in on this?
No, I think he already said.
Damn. Okay. All right. There we go. Tweewee and TF2, I think. I mean, it's funny, like, Tweewee is going to be top 4, but, like, I think a lot of us were sort of tepid on it. Yeah, I think we can just vote on this one.
yeah, I'll say as the biggest validator that only has, like, 15 hours on TF2, I'll vote TF2 over Tweenie.
That's, like, 15 more than I have. Yeah.
Time, what the fuck? Vote for Tweety. What are you doing?
TF2 is sick, though. I play a lot of it back in the day, too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, this is free.
I'm sorry, JRPG heads. This is not your crowd.
Where let's just put him out so we can yell at them. I don't see a single JRPG head in here, which is great.
Alan was just he was here for 5 minutes and he was so disgusted, like, yeah.
I hope he listens to this, to my Persona 3 quote defense unquote.
Tweewee probably is better Persona 3. Okay, finally it's Freedom 2 versus TF2. You know what?
I think we can just vote.
If Monster Hunter takes it, that'd be kind of sick. Oh.
We need a Monster Hunter win, come on.
Wait.
Just give it to Hot Pocket.
Yeah. Hot Pocket has the gun even in his desk.
Literally.
Wait, are we immediately voting on finals?
Yeah, I don't think anyone really. I don't know what there is to discuss at this point. It's
everyone's just tired. Everyone's like, let's go.
Yeah.
No.
Also, like,
okay. I'll say they're all in the top 4 at this point, so it's just kind of
It's a formality. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, congrats to TF2. Woo! TF2. No, sorry.
Yeah, congrats to TF2.
Freedom 2.
It's because Kime Road's team Freedom 2. I got confused. Yeah.
America won this day.
Sad.
Actually, there was like a little bit of.
Do you have the little pen?
Oh, I do.
You scribble Freedom Unite, like Unite on there.
Okay, and then under that put a play on PSSP with 2 times speed or whatever.
Yes, exactly. Oh, we didn't talk about that. Yeah, you gotta do that.
No.
And draw like a tiny Nargacuga.
Yeah.
But yeah, just play
What a
Freedom.
cool cover.
Actually, no. Play Freedom 2 until you get the OP electric longsword, then switch to Freedom Unite. It's so funny that that longsword destroyed the Tigra so much that the team felt the need to make it obtainable past Tigers.
It's amazing.
Server doesn't even play Monster Hunter. Voted for Monster Hunter. Forehead.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Howdy.
Oh shit, what's up?
Hey.
What's going on in here?
We're doing like the nerdiest shit you've ever seen. We're ranking some games. If you look at the stream, this is our tournament bracket.
Gotcha.
What do you?
How do I whatchamacall? How do I vote?
We literally just finished. I'm sorry.
we just finished.
Just finished.
We've been in here for
You
like.
just finished?
Yeah, we've been in here for like.
Yo, we've been trapped in here for hours.
We've been in here
Is this
for like
one of those
4
things
hours.
that's like being recorded?
Yeah,
and going on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm finally been in one of them YouTube videos. Hey, at the tail end too.
You need to vote for
This is a
TF2
great
real
time.
quick. You need to vote for TF2 real quick and have him do a recount.
It's too late. Also, I'm tired.
Wait, so Super Mario Galaxy lost to Team Fortress 2? That's insane.
Nah, it was a sweep.
In this panel, that was very expected. Okay. Yeah, congrats to our winners.
It's Halo 3 and Team Fortress 2. They're back to back, and they're trying to fight the JRPGs. So like, we can't let this.
TF2 versus the Monhuns would unironically be fire. Like
they could do like Peace Walker. Yeah.
Yeah.
They already have a Monster Hunter. It's Saxton Hale.
All right.
Let's say Gaben to add a Monster Hunter crossover, and I'll go back to playing it.
No, I don't want Gaben anywhere near it.
Thank you all for listening, for watching. I hope you had fun. Next episode is gonna be the final episode of Good Games Canon, where we do 2008 and 2009, and then also probably rank the individual years. Good things coming. This will be crazy.
Yeah, I think 2008 will be pretty interesting.
2008 is like a sicko year. It's definitely very unhinged. Okay. Bye bye everybody. Bye bye. Say bye.
Yeah, peace.
Later.
Bye. Get out of here.
Bye, y'all.